Did you stab Mr. Murphy when you all were living in that hotel?
Yes, I did.
And so you stabbed him in front of the children, is that right?
Yes, it was reflex.
Do you believe that you got anger management issues?
I do. Yes, ma'am, I believe I was a appropriate parent. My drug usage and my parenting is two separate things. I'm a mother regardless of what I do.
I'm sorry, you said your drug use is separate and apart from your parenting. Is that what you just said?
Yes, ma'am. So that means regardless of if I'm on drugs or doing drugs, I'm still a mother, I'm still a parent. I still make sure my children was taken care of and their needs was handled.
The court is ready to issue some rulings. The court will call to order D1 FM 260041-3, and this is Murphy and Mayfield matter. We're here on temporary orders and temporary restraining order, correct? That's what my setting shows.
That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. So please state your names for the record.
My name is Michelle Locke, and I am the attorney for the petitioners in this case, who are Sally and Todd Murphy. The children, the subject of this matter, have been under their care, custody, and control, and that's Denzel Murphy and Sahara Murphy.
All right, thank you. Okay, and remind me of the children's age.
3 and 4, Judge.
3 and 4, got it. Okay, and then I see Latrice Mayfield. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yes, sure. And I'm Latrice Mayfield. I'm Denzel Murphy and Sahara Murphy's mother.
I'm
This
sorry,
was-
I didn't hear what you said. I heard mother, but nothing else. Would you repeat yourself?
Yes, ma'am, I sure would. Sorry about that. Turn my volume up. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I am Latrice Mayfield. I am the mother of Denzel Murphy and Sahara Murphy.
All right, thank you. And Sam is coming on later.
Judge, he should be joining any minute now. He had signed a waiver in this case and does not have any objections to the requests of the Murphys. But he is at a long-term rehab facility, which the court will hear about. And so it just takes him a little bit longer to get on because of his current location. But yes, he is joining.
Okay.
But we can commence without him.
Yes, but let me go ahead and ask some questions of Ms. Mayfield. For Sally and Todd Murphy, will you please mute yourselves? I want to make sure I don't get any feedback from you. When your lawyer calls you, you can unmute yourself. Ms. Mayfield, would you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear and affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you will give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right. And you're going to proceed without a lawyer this morning?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're not asking for time to seek an attorney, correct?
No, ma'am.
All right. Thank you. Give me a moment here. I'm going to go off the record. I see Mr. Mesher came back in. Turn on your video, Mr. Mesher. If you see me, I want to make sure it's working and just ask you a quick question off the record. Good morning. I'm sorry you lost your power. That's
There's the
terrible.
whole house. My dog is very unhappy right now because a bunch of stuff makes, beeps and everything.
Understood. You're going to need a record. Yes. And your time announcement is 1.5 to 2 hours.
Yes, at the most. I think that an hour might be more realistic, if not less, but I prefer to overestimate with the court.
Okay, I prefer that you overestimate as well. I am starting with the other case first, but I want to know, is there any, would it be helpful for us to put you in a breakout room with any of the parties?
The opposing party in this case is pro se.
Okay.
I don't think that would be productive, but
Okay. Do you want to go in a breakout room with your client?
that's not necessary, I don't think.
Okay, all right, then you can turn off your video and sound, and we'll get to you as soon as we can.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you. So we're going to go back on the record, and we are, Mr. Murphy, we're announcing. So I'm basically taking attendance to see who's here. So give me your name.
Todd Murphy.
All right, Mr. Murphy, you're going to represent yourself this morning?
I am represented by Michelle Locke.
Oh, I'm sorry, Sam Murphy.
Correct.
I apologize.
Okay.
The person that just came in is Sam Murphy.
Correct.
Okay, I'm trying to
That's
hear.
correct, Judge. He is the well, he is the father.
Right.
He's was not on one birth certificate, is on the other one. We've got DNA testing, so we will ask for the court to adjudicate parentage today as well because he is dead and we have the genetic testing results.
I understand, but I should have said I'm talking to Sam Murphy, not Todd Murphy. So, Mr. Sam Murphy, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Okay, so you are also here this morning announcing, and you are representing yourself. Is that right?
No, ma'am, I'm represented by Michelle Locke.
All right. Okay, making sure. Please, let's go ahead and for all the parties, the rest of the parties, let me swear you in so that we get that out of the way. So everybody raise your right hand. And I'm asking Sam, Sally, and Todd Murphy to raise their hand. Ms. Mayfield, you're all done. Do you solemnly swear and affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony that you're going to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much. You can put yourselves on mute, and I'm ready to hear from Ms. Locke first on her opening only, and then Ms. Mayfield, I'm going to allow you to do an opening as well. Go ahead.
Thank you, Judge. And if the court would bear with me, because I know that you want kind of the full background in the
Yeah.
opening, so I'm going to go a little longer than I normally do just to fill you in on this particular case. So we have two precious little children that are 4 and 3. Denzel was born in November of 2021, and Sahara was born also, but in November of 2022. And both Sam and Latrice are the parents of the children. Dad is on Sahara's birth certificate, but not on Denzel's. We have confirmed paternity through DNA testing, and so we will ask at some point today for the court to adjudicate parentage so that there's no issue going forward. The children, there's an extensive domestic violence history between Miss Mayfield and Mr. Murphy. There's also, and you will hear from probably Mr. Murphy himself, Mr. Sam Murphy, about alcohol abuse and issues that alcohol abuse and substance abuse raised in the relationship he had with Miss Mayfield. Miss Mayfield also is a previously convicted felon, went to serve penitentiary time for her role in some kind of aggravated robbery that I think may have resulted in the death of an individual, but she has done some prison time. That she's served her time to the system is back out and working. One of the issues with her working schedules, the court will hear, is she works overnight hours and then comes home and is tired and sleeps during the day and leaves these children basically unattended. And so because of the current conditions of the children back in January, both Mr. Murphy and Miss Mayfield agreed to place the children with my clients, Dr. Todd Murphy and his wife. And at that time, they had signed like some custody, like custodial guardianship agreements, informal ones that basically said that my clients can enroll them in school and take care of them because the agreement was that my clients were to have the children for a year to allow both Mr. Murphy and Miss Mayfield to get on their feet and to solve their respective issues so they could provide adequately for their children. Now, what my clients learned through the course of having these children since January, mom lives in, not in Austin, lives in Longview, or Longview, that's correct. And in the 7 months my clients have had the children, mom has not come to see the children at all. I think there's going to be an explanation from Miss Mayfield that she attempted to come down once in Austin during the summer, but my clients weren't here because my clients also have a home in Arkansas. You will see from our pleadings that we have asked for permission for the parties to either reside in Arkansas, in the county in Arkansas, or within Travis County with the
I'm
children.
sorry, Ms. Locke, what was the name of the city in Arkansas?
I just said Arkansas. I think they're in Fayetteville is the county, if I recall correctly.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And so when my clients went to go pick up the children did not really speak. They had some kind of like language between the two of them that was gibberish. And it became apparent after some time that the children were behind and not just a little bit. And so my clients have spent an immense amount of time and energies to get these children to where they needed to be because they were behind physically, they were speech delayed, and they were, it was evident to my clients that they were mistreated. Now, you were going to hear from Mr. Murphy of a domestic violence incident where he, I think, assaulted Miss Mayfield, but then Miss Mayfield proceeded to stab him. The children were present. And so, what you're going to see is a toxic relationship between the parties. Miss Mayfield ended up kicking out Mr. Murphy. Mr. Murphy has gone to rehab and has been sober for an extended period of time, doing really, really well. But Miss Mayfield then moved in another boyfriend who also committed domestic violence against her. And you will hear that there was a call to my clients, I think in March of this year. So 3 months after my clients had received the children, that her current boyfriend was beating her up, and she wanted the Murphys to come get her in Longview. And so we believe that boyfriend is no longer present, but we don't know for sure. Then, in addition
Let
to,
me stop you for a minute because Mr. Sam Murphy came in a little later and he didn't hear some of my instructions. I'm addressing Mr. Sam Murphy. I need you to stay in a seated position and not walk and walk around with the camera. It's very distracting. So pick a place where you could be seated. And if there isn't a place where you have the ability to be seated and observe without moving around and walking, it's okay for you to turn off your video for a little bit. Okay? You're on mute. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I'm at work. I apologize.
I understand. If you
I'm gonna take you. I'm gonna get off a video real quick.
okay, all right,
Yes, ma'am.
let's do that. But when you're here and we are asking questions of you, you're gonna have to be seated without moving around with the camera.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Okay, let's continue.
so then she involved herself in another relationship that involved domestic violence. And what you're going to hear from my clients, plural, is how scared the children were when they would mess up. The children were so stressed when they got with my clients. I'm going to show you pictures, Judge, of where they chewed into like the concrete walls and the ledge sills because of their anxiety about what was going on. They would, if they got into trouble, they would freak out and shut down. They would also stem. You're going to hear from Miss Murphy about how the stemming has almost gone away. That not only that, but they've actually, Denzel's grown 1.5 inches in the 7 months that my clients have had him. They are growing, they are excelling, they are so far above where they were before. Now, the other issue is Miss Mayfield has other adult children. We have outcries from the children, the ones that are subject to this suit, regarding her older children, particularly her son, that as the kids put, whoops them. And so what happens is our understanding is that Miss Mayfield leaves the children with her son while she works her overnight shifts. And he is probably not the appropriate caregiver for the children. I think she's even conceded that she knows that they have engaged, but they've been disciplined by him inappropriately. We also don't know anything about her living conditions. She's got a history of being evicted from places. She's got, our understanding is, a 2-bedroom place, but not really appropriate accommodations that would protect the safety and welfare of the children. We believe that the evidence shows, and consistently over the last 7 months, Judge, what you're going to see is that mom is not consistent in her contact with the children, that she does not inquire about anything really related to the children. My clients have kept her informed of where she enrolled them at school, the type of school they were enrolled in, and she really just has not done anything to get involved in these children's lives again, other than to say she wants them. Our understanding is that she has called Mr. Murphy's rehab facility and told them that he's behind on child support and some other things, which isn't necessarily accurate because there's no child support order. My concern really, Judge, is that she wants these children back because they are possessions for her and a tool to extract money out of Mr. Murphy. And the real issue is, and the evidence will show, is that the children's present circumstances when living with her were a significant impairment to their physical development and emotional well-being. I mean, they were really behind. And when you hear the words from Miss Murphy herself about how Denzel would stem and how he would behave when he just spilled a glass, it was like, oh, please don't whoop me. And so it looked like they were getting some pretty good physical discipline. And I think Mr. Murphy will also testify to Miss Mayfield's drug use as well. We believe that she actively uses marijuana, and that is a problem as well. The evidence will, I think, tends to show that they were left alone and unattended in a bedroom a lot. I think Mr. Murphy will be able to testify to that as well. The real problem is she has not shown any ability to meet these children's basic needs. She's not sent anything to them, not offered the Murphys for anything related to their care of the children. And they understand that that they have the resources to provide for these children, but it's not about resources. It's about showing at a very fundamental level that she wants to properly care for these children. And it's not just shelter and food, Judge. I mean, they weren't talking. My clients went and pounded on the door because they had an agreement to go to Longview to pick up these kids in January. And they were pounding on the door at Miss Mayfield's apartment per an agreement and for an hour. And Miss Mayfield never answered the door. The kids were quiet the whole time as well because they found out subsequently that Miss Mayfield was home, but she was just asleep. So the kids were left unattended at 3 and 4. And at that time, they had just turned 3 and 4. And so she does not have the ability to provide for them and to provide an environment that would protect their emotional well-being and physical development. And so at the end of this, we were asking that court allow to continue what the parties really had agreed to back in January, was that with my clients maintain temporary sole custody of these children pending both Mr. Murphy and Miss Mayfield getting on the right track to provide appropriately for these children and ensure their safety and welfare in her care. And so we're asking the court to grant the relief that we have requested. And we think that the evidence will absolutely support that request.
Okay, a few questions. The case started on July 16th, 2026, and back then it came in as a July 16th, excuse me. It came in as a duty court request. So I think this is how this case started. There was an original petition filed affecting the parent-child relationship, and it came through the emergency court. And at that time, Judge Clark Meacham granted the TRO and set it on the family docket for July the 29th. And then it was extended. I believe that there was a TRO was extended with amended language allowing electronic and phone access. And so that was Judge Matthews Rodriguez who extended it probably by agreement.
Yes, it was by agreement to extend it as well because we weren't going to get reached on that particular day, Judge. And so
Okay.
it was reset by agreement and by agreement of the parties with the extension as well, because we modified the language to clarify that mom could actually communicate with the children. The evidence will show that mom has always had the ability to have electronic communication and video access with the children. And then the court will end up hearing evidence about how sporadic mom is with actually doing those phone calls. She'll go 5 days. She's gone 17 days without contacting the kids during the time my clients have had possession of these children. So you're going to hear more about that. But that was the agreed extension, just to clarify that she could access the children via communication methods.
I understand. I always like to understand the procedural history of where we are, because today is the first time you're going to have an evidentiary hearing on this issue. And one of the things that I'm noticing is nobody has made a request for a guardian ad litem. And so why is that the case? Has anybody thought about that? Why isn't that in anybody's radar?
Judge, I think, I don't know that we asked for him because I know the court on its own can make a request, can appoint a guardian ad litem if it determines that one is necessary in the particular case. One of the issues, Judge, is that both Miss Mayfield and Mr. Murphy just don't have the resources for a guardian ad litem. But if the court deems a guardian ad litem would be appropriate, I can tell you my clients do not object to the appointment of one, but probably somewhere through the DRO, because I don't think that either Mr. Murphy or Miss Mayfield can afford a guardian. But we did have I can tell you that I did have the discussion with my clients about a guardian, but it's one, there's not the resources for it, but two, I also knew that the court on its own can do it.
Okay, well, I'm already thinking in that direction, so I'm gonna be looking out for that. Okay, anything else in your opening? Otherwise, I'm gonna give the same opportunity to Miss Mayfield.
No, Judge, I think unless the court has any additional questions, I think that lays it out.
Okay, thank you. Miss Mayfield, good morning to you. I'm going to give you the same opportunity to give me an opening. I know you're representing yourself. However, the rules of civil procedure and the rules of evidence, the Texas rules of evidence, are going to apply to you equally. You're stepping into the shoes of being your own attorney, but I do want you to be comfortable if you hear any legal terms of art, and in family law, there's quite a few of them, a lot of terms. Sole managing, joint managing, what does that mean? If you have questions about the definition of a legal term of art, I want you to always be comfortable to say, Judge, I don't understand what that term means. And I am not your advocate and I cannot represent you, but I will make sure that I define legal terms of art. And we want to make sure that you have the ability to ask questions and understand the proceedings as it pertains to your kids. So right now, I'm giving you the opportunity to do an opening, and in an opening, all I'm asking for is a summary of the background and what you intend to prove and what your position is, meaning what are you asking me to do at the end of this hearing? And so you may proceed.
Okay, Your Honor. A little background. I did as in my early 20s, I committed an aggravated robbery charge. I did 10 years. I completed my parole the last 5 years successfully. I have been working since then. I met the father, Samuel, when we had Denzel and Sahara. We moved to Houston.
I'm sorry, excuse me,
Um,
Ms. Mayfield. I'm having a little bit of problems hearing you clearly. Is your microphone attached to your headset? I think we might do better if you don't use the headset. That's my experience anyway. Is that something you're able to do or no?
you, you want me to take them off?
I think it might be better for us to hear that way.
It,
Will you
Okay.
be able to hear? I'm just trying to make the sound better for all of us.
Okay.
it's a little bit
I'll take it off.
muffled. It's
Muffled.
yeah.
Yes.
And it may be the placement of the microphone if it's too close to you, or but we'll see if we can
Can you hear me now?
oh, that's better.
Yes, much better, ma'am. Thank you.
Why I still hear you on my headphones?
Well,
It just makes them muffled a little bit, like the judge said.
now if you want to put on the headphones and you still sound as clear as you sound now, I'm okay with that.
No. Y'all could hear me clear, but I could still hear y'all through the headphones. But I just disconnected them. They're completely off. But yeah, so we moved in Houston. And was living a life together, and I will take accountability for both of our alcoholism and drug uses. However, I love my children. We both love our children, and we took good care of our children. I have a few exhibits that I uploaded in the box pertaining to some of the allegations against me to prove that my children were not just neglected. They were not behind. We were loving, caring parents despite the domestic violence that were going on, which is what led up to me, putting him out. Because it got to the point to where the kids were even scared of him, and even though they're here with him while I'm at work, when I get off in the morning, it's like they run to me and want me to do certain things because they were scared to ask their dad. When it comes to my older children, My oldest son is a current college student at Tyler Junior College. He's been in Tyler Junior College since the summer of last year, well, August of last year. They have not been home alone with him when he do come to visit. Yes, he have watched them while I go to work, but the father was still here at the time. So the father and my oldest son were here. They were never just alone with him, as well as my two older daughters. They still live with their grandmother and they're still in school. They were never here alone with them. They were never abused. Um, as far as getting into another relationship, the alleged boyfriend that they're talking about was a coworker, and was helping me with the truck that Samuel bought me that continued to mess up. Instead of Samuel helping to, try to get it fixed and figure out why I kept needing charges, a coworker would reach out to help me with the truck. He came to give me rides when our truck completely messed up. And that's how Samuel even saw the coworker, and it was just, oh well, you put me out because you're in a new relationship. No, I put you out because you were violent in front of the children, as well as he came around to give me a ride to the store. He saw Samuel try to attack me one night when he was drunk outside, and he will pop up around to make sure I'm okay, because when I put Samuel out, he didn't leave the apartment complex. He was still hanging out with some friend guy that he knew in the next building by ours. So yes, I was in fear, and yes, I would have him to just check on me just to make sure I was okay. That's the only way anybody ever knew of him. He was not a boyfriend. He was a coworker.
Mayfield,
When it comes,
let me ask you this question, because the opening has a specific purpose. What are you asking the court to do at the end of this setting? How should Sally and Todd Murphy be involved with the kids, and in what capacity? And what are you asking the court to do?
I'm asking the court to place my children back home with me. I am more than capable. I have a steady job. I made a year last week at my job. I have the income. I can't afford guardianship. I am their guardianship. I have them
Sorry,
enrolled in
would
school.
you repeat that? You said you cannot afford a guardianship? What?
A guardianship, which means like me as their mother, correct?
Okay, I misunderstood you. So let me ask it this way. You are asking that the children come to live with you full time, and that Sally and Todd Murphy should have no involvement with the children? Or do you envision, or are you asking that they be involved in some capacity? How do you see that relationship?
I see this relationship, despite all of this that's going on. I know that my children love them, and I know they have come to have a bond with them. I'm not against them being a part of their life at all. However, I just want my children to be returned home to me. And it's not a possession thing. It's I have a Denzel enrolled in school, which I also uploaded that confirmation letter in the exhibits. They have dentists, they have doctors, they have pediatricians, they have everything that they need. I have transportation. Everything that I have is in the exhibit. So I'm just asking the court for my children to be returned home. I never agreed to a year on my power of attorney that I signed, where it said that it had an end date. I never put an end date because I was already in a situation to take care of them. My situation was just my work hours and being able to properly get things in order for them. That on the father's power of attorney, his power of attorney, he signed a year, so that's where the year come to. Yeah, I never agreed to a whole year. I did agree to them helping them, you know, help them learn and get them in a learning environment. I was not against that. I was all part of that. But however, keeping them for a year, I didn't need a year, Your Honor. I'm just asking the court for my kids to be returned home.
Okay, and you don't think that they should have any court-ordered visitation for Sally?
If everything goes to where they can come home, yes, it will be court ordered visitation. And yes, because I'm going through all of this, yes, I would like for it to be supervised.
Oh, you would like Sally and Todd Murphy to be supervised with your children?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I understand your position. All right, so Ms. Locke, let's go ahead and call your first witness. And Ms.
Judge,
Mayfield, you may turn off your sound until you're called.
Judge, I'm going to call Sally Murphy.
All right. All right, Miss Murphy, I have already sworn you in, and I think your sound is not working. Let's double check it.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I was just being quiet.
All right.
May I proceed, Judge?
Yes.
Miss Murphy, would you please state your name for the record?
Sally Murphy.
Okay. Let's tell the court a little bit about, let's just start with Denzel.
Okay, Denzel is, do you want to start like when we picked him up or how he is, who
Okay,
he is?
let me rephrase. Sitting here today, tell the court about today and Denzel.
Denzel is a very fun, very active, very confident little boy. He loves being outside. He loves gardening. He loves being, he's a super active swimmer. We taught him how to swim this summer, and he now swims the length of the pool. He is now super verbal, very clear to understand. And he, when we got him in January, he was very difficult to understand, very not fluid sentences, but also knew he wanted to work on it. And so he's super willing to learn anything we ask him. Super easygoing, loves books, loves to be read to, loves the dogs. Like I can't even say enough. Like he is a really remarkable young boy.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about how Sahara is sitting here today.
Sahara
Yes.
is now like, she's hilarious. First of all, I'll say that she's very funny. She's now very active, much greater coordination. She loves to swim as well. She swims the length of the pool by herself. She also loves to garden. She loves animals. We have spent the summer on 130 acres, and she tends to the chickens with great joy. And both of them have a great relationship with their aunt and uncle. Aunts and uncle here. They're just easygoing. They love their routine. They know what to expect every day. I don't know. She loves to wear her lip gloss every day. She gets dressed. She likes to, she's a little girl. She likes to put on her dresses every day. She now dresses herself with great ease. They're outstanding now. And she is now much more relaxed and also confident, not anxious.
Well, let's talk about, you picked him up on what date?
We picked them up on January 14th.
Okay. And how did you all, was there some kind of agreement met between you, Sam, and Miss Mayfield with regards to picking them up in January?
Yes. So we took Sam to the first rehab, which was in Texas. And at that point, Sam was able to talk to Trees because he was super, super worried about the kids being there. And knowing that there wasn't adequate care for them. Sam talked to Trees on January 14th while he was in Madisonville, Texas. And they agreed that we would take care of the kids while he was getting sober, and she said she needed help. She didn't have childcare, and it was challenging for her to work and care for the kids. And I believe her son, who's on the lease, was kicked out at that time. And so they agreed that we would take care of the kids. And she was, per phone call with my husband and Sam, super relieved. And continued to ask us before we got there on January 14th to confirm what day we were coming because she was struggling with childcare.
Okay. And did you reach an agreement as to the date you would come?
Yes, January 14th. And I believe we were set to get there by about 11:45, and we had texted on our drive from Austin to Longview, giving her, our time frame.
Okay. And did she respond to you to let you know that she was aware you all were on your way?
She knew at some point we were coming, and then as we got closer, we did not hear from her. And we knocked on the door, ready to go. No answer. And I believe that, like, I'd contacted, so we knocked on the door for a very long time, no response. And we were like, wow, this is so frustrating. And I believe we contacted Sam's sister, LaDelcia, saying, do you know what's going on? And we were just about to do a welfare check. And I think it was an hour and a half later, Therese finally opened the door.
Okay. So she had been home. What did she tell you when she opened the door?
That she had been sleeping.
And what time of day was this?
By the time I think we were able to actually have her open the door, it must have been maybe 1:30.
Okay. And where were the children?
The children were in the house, but she had come to the couch and she had definitely been asleep. So we never saw the back part of her home, but they were in the house alone while their mom slept, and they have reported that frequently.
I'm going to interrupt to ask a question that I don't want to forget.
Yes.
Currently, Denzel and Zahara, do they go to preschool? Do they go to
Yes.
daycare during the day?
They had a summer preschool here in Arkansas, and they are enrolled in school for this coming fall.
So currently, you both of you live in Arkansas.
We live in Austin. We have a family farm in Fayetteville, and
Okay.
our two older kids go to the University of Arkansas.
Okay, so you spent the summer in Arkansas with the kids, and they had a summer camp, summer daycare type thing.
They had a summer preschool, an incredible community. In fact, we just got back from a birthday party from one of his Denzel's classmates past weekend.
But currently, you are here in Austin.
No, Judge, currently they're in Fayette. They're at their property in Arkansas because they're wrapping up the summer. They
And
go
we
back.
moved our
Okay.
older kids into school.
All right. So currently, right now, as you're sitting here, you're in Arkansas, and the kids are there, and they are still attending their summer. I'll call it summer camp. Are they still attending?
No, their summer camp has ended, and they
Okay.
have a preschool the same preschool they attended in the summer, they can go in the fall.
Okay, but currently they're home and they're not in any preschool.
Not yet. It hasn't started yet. School
Okay.
sessions have not begun.
Understood. And your plan is to come to Austin when?
They don't have one. I'll answer for them, Judge, for a second. They didn't know what the court was going to do, and so some of their actions have been, we can't make firm plans until we get some kind of guidance from the court. So that is one of the issues. That's why if you look at our pleadings, we ask for a bigger geographic restriction than I normally would, but it's because they go back and forth between Arkansas and here so often because of their other children that are attending school in Arkansas.
Okay. Here in Austin, where is your home located? North, south?
We are in Northwest Hills, Central Austin.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Go ahead. You can keep asking questions.
Okay. And so you arrived, and it took until about 1:00 for her to open the door. And you've described kind of what the children are like now. What were the children like when you picked them up back in January? And let's start with Denzel.
Denzel was terrified. He had
Can you describe what you mean by terrified for the court?
He was very withdrawn. He stemmed incessantly, putting his little fingertips together. I can't see y'all, and he would just tap them as a way to self-regulate what was going on internally with him. He was terrified of literally everything. He was terrified of getting his hair washed. When
you say, and hang on for 1 second, when you say terrified of like just getting his hair washed, can you describe what that actually means for the court? Like, how was he terrified?
He would scream. He would scream, no, no, scary. He we did a lot of breathing exercises to try to help calm him down. He would, I don't know, like kids spill their milk or drop something and he would just panic and kind of freeze. And we just had to continually say it's okay. His lips were severely chapped when he got to us. His ears were filthy, like goo was running out of him. In fact, I texted Treese and said, does he have a earache or, ear infection or something? His ears are horrendous. And oh no, I just didn't get to that. They would just kind of immobile. I can't really, I don't know how to explain that, but they just afraid to do anything, to just play, just everything. They're very rigid. He was very rigid in his movements and what he could do. And also,
when you say, and hang on, when you say rigid in their movements, was he moving like a normal 4-year-old would physically
no.
move at that time?
No, he was very far behind in his gross motor skills and his fine motor skills. Went to the park and could not, do what a typical 4-year-old does on a playscape. He had his muscle tone was very low, postural core almost non-existent. And
I mean, you actually took him for an evaluation, didn't you?
We did. I called Kid Ventures for a full OT, and then we were going to do a speech evaluation. But most importantly, we got an OT evaluation just to see what was going on. I was greatly concerned looking at this very little 4-year-old. He just didn't have muscle or strength, and having raised so many kids, I knew something was off.
Okay, how many, so the court's aware, how many children have you raised?
We have had 6 children. We adopted 4 and 2 biological.
Okay, and so Sam is your adopted son?
Yes, we adopted Sam when he was 14 years old.
Okay, and you also adopted his brother, is that right?
That is correct. His brother, Ladarius, we adopted him when he was 17 years old.
Okay. Ladarius has since passed. We'll get into that in just a second.
Yes.
But Sam came into y'all's lives and you've kind of like jumped in and really been there and helped him out, right?
That is correct.
Okay.
Yes. And yes, we have tried, and Sam will attest to this. Yes, we jumped in, helped Sam. We taught him to read. Sam came to us at a 1st grade level, and we got Sam reading. He went to Vanderbilt University to learn how to read after being in the foster care system. And so we went above and beyond trying to get Sam caught up to be at the appropriate level. So this. Okay.
I'm going to show you what we've marked as exhibit. I think it's P19, Judge. If I have permission to share.
Yes, you may publish.
Thank you, Judge. Give me 1 second. I may have some issues with my.
And while you do that, I'm going to ask, Mom has had what kind of just electronic communication with the kids since January of 2026?
Are you asking me?
Yes, Miss Murphy.
Oh, okay. Yes, she has had full ability to have phone calls with them, Zoom calls, videos. I've offered to have her come see them at the farm. In fact, there's a text and I said, I'd love for you to see their joy at the farm and all that they can do now. It's just because it's been remarkable watching their progress. I think every day I'm in awe from where they were to where they are now of what they can do. And I had offered for her to see that. And then she was also supposed to come here to see them, and we were going to pick her up from the hotel because we have a very long, bumpy driveway, and I didn't want it to, for it to be hard on her car. So there's been ample opportunities provided, but and the phone calls are very hit or miss.
And Judge, bear with me. My computers have given me issues on sharing screen, so I asked my paralegal to assist She's
Okay.
going to share Exhibit 19.
Just for future reference, since your paralegal is on, if you use 3-digit numbers, they stay in order and it's easier to find them. Just
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
for the future.
So Miss Murphy, that's a photo of a windowsill. Is that in the children's room?
That is in the children's room in Austin, yes, and that is a large window that is next to Sahara's bed. And
Okay, hang on.
Sahara,
Well, hang on. You've not changed or modified this picture in any way. Is that correct?
correct.
All right. And it's a true and accurate depiction of what it shows, which is chunks missing out of the wall of that underneath that window. Is that correct?
Correct. That is
And-
correct.
And this was taken approximately when, this picture?
Oh, goodness. I don't even know. It was, maybe March.
Judge, I move to introduce P19.
Ms. Mayfield, any objections to P19? Evidentiary objections to P19?
By chewing, or they're saying like physically with their teeth, or
I believe they said that the children, that this is a photo of what occurred, what the wall looks like after the children.
Sahara.
yes, Your Honor, I object. I object.
What's your objection?
My objection is that fence could have been like that for no telling how long. It's just trying to make the situation seem so severe. My children were not in dire in a situation that severe to where they just came there and just was gnawing or scratching or chewing or however they said to a fence.
So
The objection's overruled. P19 is admitted.
Okay. Ms. Murphy, can you describe for the court what you were showing with this picture?
yes, so that's the windowsill, and you can see the little kind of like a bite marks on the windowsill. And it's so Sahara has a lot of anxiety. Well, it's reduced tremendously now, but that is her little bite marks. And I came in, and I said, Sahara, like she was supposed to be napping, and she said, I chewed the window.
So she told you she did.
She did. She also always had a little toy in her hand, like a very nervous, kind of like a fidget toy. And this was one of her anxious things. She also bites her nails. And so Sahara can present herself as she's funny, she's vocal, but internally, and knowing her so well, she has a lot of internal anxiety that you can see. And now she's very verbal about her feelings. We've worked extremely hard on her not doing these behaviors, such as chewing a windowsill or scratching the little wood table or whatever her little things were, to being able to express her feelings of what's going on. And she's able to recall her story, shall I say.
Okay, you can take down that picture, Ms. Bustamante. Can you tell the court what Ms. Mayfield sent with you all when you picked up the children?
She sent the children, and they had on an outfit and their shoes.
Okay. Did she send them with any of their toys?
No,
Did she send them with any clothes?
just what was on their back.
She didn't even provide underwear?
No, just what they were wearing. Nothing. Nor did she walk out with them to help put them in the car.
What did she do? Well, then tell the court how that transpired. You picked up the kids at the door and then left
She sat down on the couch, and she signed the form that we were able to care for them until she was able to get the one notarized, which I think took like 6-7 weeks to get that done. But we had gotten Sam's notarized, and she stood at the door and just said bye, hugged them and said goodbye. And we put them in the car.
Okay. Ms. Bustamante, can you share P12, please? This is what you received, Miss Murphy, from Miss Mayfield, is that correct?
Yes, yes, at first she did a handwritten one in the dark when we picked them up. And then we received that, gosh, it was, right, the date was 2/10 and then it was mailed. So it was about 6 weeks to get that. But we were able to care for them and, do all the things that they needed, such as go to the dentist and pediatrician and all of that, because their daddy had completed the power of attorney.
Okay, and you've not changed or modified this in any way, is that correct?
That is correct.
That's a true and correct copy of what you received from Miss Mayfield regarding a delegation of parental authority, is that correct?
Yes.
Judge, I move to introduce P12.
Any objection to P12, Ms. Mayfield?
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay, P12 is admitted.
Pull up P13 next. And this is the power of attorney on behalf of minor child that you received from Sam Murphy, is that correct?
That is correct.
And you've not changed or modified this in any way, is that correct?
Correct.
It's a true and correct copy of the power of attorney that you received from your son as it related to Sahara and Denzel, is that correct?
Yes, that is. And we also had another one at his first rehab facility. So, but this is the one, once he got to his final place where he's at stable recovery, that is correct.
All right, Judge, I move to introduce P13.
Any objection to P13, Ms. Mayfield?
No, ma'am, no objection.
P13 is admitted.
And Judge, I'm also going to share, just for housekeeping, I'm going to share P10 and P11, which are the paternity test results.
Okay.
And this is P10, and this is, Miss Murphy, this is the paternity test results that you received back of Denzel, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, and it's a true and correct copy of the results that you received, correct?
Correct.
You've not changed or modified them in any way, is that correct?
I have not. Correct.
Judge, I would move to introduce P10, which is the paternity test for Mr. Sam Murphy on Denzel.
Ms. Mayfield, any objection to P10?
No, ma'am, no objection.
All right.
P11.
Sorry, I should have said not just all right. P10 is admitted.
Thank you, Judge. P11, Ms. Murphy, this is a true and correct copy of the paternity test results as it relates to Sahara and Mr. Murphy. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And that is you have not changed or modified that copy. Is that correct?
That is correct.
The true and correct copy of what you actually received. Yes?
Yes.
Judge, I move to introduce P11.
Any objection, Ms. Mayfield?
No, ma'am, no objection.
P11 is admitted.
Now, Miss Murphy, your husband, Dr. Murphy, was able to put the children on health insurance almost immediately. Is that correct?
That is correct. Immediately, as there were great concerns for them.
Okay, I'm going to show you what's been marked as I'm going to show what's been marked as P14. Right there. This is a copy of the verification of health insurance for the children that Dr. Murphy obtained that it covered Denzel and Sahara. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. And you've not changed or modified this in any way?
No.
All right. Judge, I move to introduce P14.
Ms. Mayfield, do you have any objections to P14?
No, ma'am, no objections.
P14 is admitted.
All right. Ms. Murphy, can you describe for the court how Ms. Mayfield's, let me back up a little bit. Where does Ms. Mayfield currently reside? What city?
Longview,
Okay.
Texas.
What is the distance for her to drive from Longview to your residence in Austin?
It's 5 hours.
Okay. What is the distance from her to drive from her residence to where you live in Fayetteville?
5 hours.
Okay. And so from her location, it is equal distant to either location for her to reach the children.
That is correct.
Okay. And how many times has she come to see the children since they were placed in your possession in January of 2026?
She has not visited the children since January.
Okay. How many times has she requested to come see the children since January? It was January 16th or 14th?
14th.
Okay. Since January 14th of 2026, how many times has she requested to visit with the children?
Very minimal. At one point, she did say she was going to try to come every week or every other week, but nothing was followed through. And then the first set plan, I believe, she said, I'd like to see them. I'm not sure. And I said, well, we're in Arkansas. And she wouldn't ever visit here. And then she was supposed to come on June 19th to visit them. And it was scheduled. And I think that's the same date I said, I'll pick you up from the hotel due to our driveway. It had recently been washed out, and it's almost a 3/4 mile driveway of gravel. And she did not arrive here to visit the children.
Okay. She was not, let me tell you this, did she actually have other visits that she scheduled and then canceled? Or did she just not come?
She just did not come. I mean, I have to review that, but no, she has not come. I offered for her to come to see them at the farm. I wanted to show her what these amazing children were doing. I mean, as a mama, I wanted her to see, like, they're swimming and gardening, and they have incredible abilities, and they can care for animals and all of the verbal skills, because you can't really see their incredible outcomes through a 5-minute phone call. So I offered for her to visit.
Can you tell the court a little bit about the consistency of her communications with the children over the last 7 months? Now 8.
Now 8. It has been very inconsistent. Early on, gosh, I would say she could go 5 days and not talk, or she would call and it would be in a dark room and there was no engaging. And they would last like 5 minutes, and then she'd say she was going to call that night, and I would say, your mom's going to call tonight, and then there would be no phone call. And we always told Teresa, if she can't reach me, I'm super hands-on with children. I don't have my phone, call Todd. And that did not happen for a very long time. And she went one point, it was, I think, 17 days, and she texted, I'm sorry, I got distracted with sleep and work. Sorry, I hadn't, contacted them. 17 days. And it's very inconsistent. We no longer tell the kids, your mom says she's going to call again, because I don't want a broken promise to them.
Have the children made outcries with regards to being whooped?
Yes, they.
Can you tell the court about those?
Yes, the children are, especially Denzel, very, talked about being whooped, or if he spilt milk very early on, don't whip me. And I'm like, oh, never. Like, I spill all the time. They talk about mommy being very angry, hiding behind the brown couch to not be whooped. They talk about Doomy whooping him.
I'm sorry, what was that name?
Doomy is Jeremy is his I believe his birth given name, but they call him Doomy. And Treese did admit that he had on the phone whooped him, and he was no longer living in the house because she was finding out that, she said, I had to tell Doomy he had to take care of the kids, but he was just gaming and smoking weed. And Doomy is on the lease now, and the kids are very afraid of Doomy. And Sahara is very verbal too, that Denzel was whooped a lot.
Okay. And what was your understanding, and sitting here today, what is your understanding about Miss Mayfield's work schedule?
I don't have the exact schedule because it changes. I think there's like 3 days on. She was working 7 to 7 at night, 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. I think it's now switched from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., but the days are they change. They might have 3 days on, 2 days off. So there's not a consistent schedule. And I think we've asked, like, what is your exact schedule? So we can, see what's going on. And we don't have an answer, but then she comes home, she'll sometimes call at 7:30 and ask, in quotes, are the kids woke? Sometimes, like, it depends on our schedule. And I'm a mom, I'm a lolly, they call me Lolly, getting them ready. And I can't always answer the phone at 7:30. And we try to call back and she's asleep. And then she sleeps all day. And then oftentimes if we call in the afternoon or evening, we've woken her up. So it's really kind of an erratic schedule. And we can only, she can only reach us certain times, even though she says she works during the day as a travel agent. So it's completely inconsistent.
Okay. And does that give you concerns about the living conditions and how that would impair the children's emotional well-being and physical development if they go back with Miss Mayfield?
Absolutely. I worry about, they're so young, they're 3 and 4 and their needs are very high. That if she's working, the night shift, who's taking care of them? And who's caring for them where they are safe and feel safe. And then they get out of school at, whatever time, and then she goes to work. Who's caring for them? And who's getting them to their medical appointments? Denzel had 9 root canals with prior to him living with us, and who's maintaining their physical health, his need for, whatever they're going to find. And my fear is going back, they're going to regress into their anxiety, his stimming, and all these things that are going to require care. These children they suffered extreme trauma, and thrive on a schedule, a routine. They like to know what's expected. They, where they're going to sleep every night is super important.
Sorry, excuse me. Let's talk a little bit about when you got them in your possession, what were the first immediate steps you took with regards to their care?
We sought a well child check, and Denzel was behind on his vaccines. We got to the dentist because Denzel, he has, oh gosh, I think it's 9 silver caps on his teeth, six caps, and he had 9 root canals. So we wanted to ensure, because since that procedure, it had been 18 months, I believe, since he had seen the dentist. So we took them to the dentist, and then we went to Kid Ventures for the evaluation due to the incredible concerns of how behind Denzel was with his gross and fine motor skills.
Okay, you heard Miss Mayfield mention her co-worker, right?
Right, Mario.
Okay. And let's talk about that for a second. Did Miss Mayfield tell you herself who Mario was?
Yes, Mario started out as her supervisor, and then he became her boyfriend.
Okay.
And
did he live with her to your knowledge?
To my knowledge, I do not know. I know that she was there. She went to his house often, and it is my understanding sometimes she would leave, go overnight when Sam was still there, and then just come back. But when she texted me to come pick her up because she was afraid she was going to be hurt or killed by him, and she didn't know what kind of guy he was, that at that time Mario was her boyfriend and not a coworker. And
he was living with her, is that correct?
That I do not know.
Okay. I'm going to pull up P18. And P18 are your text messages between you and Miss Mayfield. Looks like starting in March of 2026. It's a section of your text messages with her, correct?
Okay.
I'm going to pull it up. Just give me a second.
Okay.
You'll see that it starts on March 3rd, 2026.
Ooh. I am trying to see if my.
We can
oh,
zoom
thank you.
in.
We're zooming in. Thank you. Yes, March 3rd.
And I will say these, you've provided these to me as a PDF. That's
Yes.
23 pages of text messages between you and Miss Mayfield. It looks like
Yes.
starting, okay. And that's a true and correct copy of what you've provided me, correct?
Yes.
All right, Judge, and these are messages, accurate messages between you and Miss Mayfield, correct?
Correct.
All right. Judge, I would move to introduce P18, and we're going to go to page 7, Jessica.
Ms. Mayfield, do you have any objections to P18?
No, ma'am, no objections.
Okay, P18 is admitted. I also want to let you all know that I'm going to have someone from our DRL department come into the Zoom to listen to the remainder of the case as soon as they're available, as I am considering the potential appointment of a guardian ad litem.
Yes, Judge, thank you. All right, and P18 is admitted, Judge, is that correct?
P18 is admitted.
All right. Do you see at the very top of this page on March 28th, 2026?
I'm sorry, I didn't get the dates, Miss Locke, March.
I'm sorry, March 28th of 2026. And Miss Mayfield sent you what text, Miss Murphy?
The first text, well, it says, I need you to come get me, please. And actually, there was I think a previous text, it was like 2 in the morning.
Correct.
Call
We're going
me
to
when
go.
you can.
Yeah, we're going to go back up to page 6.
Um,
And you're going to see on 3/28 at 2:32 p.m. She sends
yes,
you a
it's
text.
urgent. Yes. Yes. So, and obviously I did not answer something at 2 in the morning. And then it began the next morning.
Okay. And that goes on to page 7.
And I asked her, what's wrong? I need you to come get me. And I asked why. I'm scared. Please, I need to leave from here. Scared in your apartment? Therese responded, yes. And she said, I have a little money saved. I just want to be with my babies and safe. I'll start over if you help me, please. Like I said, I'll explain everything to you. And I said, did Mario hit you? Is this a domestic violence related? Yes. And he showed up here last night and threatened to do it to me again. And I called the police. Now I'm scared and I need to leave. He said he will come back. And you know we work together, so I can't keep going to work. I don't have to be at your house if you don't want, but I want to hold my babies and be safe, please. I haven't been asleep from being scared. I text you as soon as the police made him leave. I've literally barricaded myself in here. So they did not arrest him. No, because they just made him leave. Disputes between 2 people, no arrest needed. Yes, but he has hit me plenty of times. And okay, plenty of times, which is, I called them as soon as he told me he was coming. I stopped talking to him even at work and he got mad. They sent a lot of people home last night around 11. I was at work and somehow he found out I was home and came to hurt me. And on January 11th, when Sam talked to her, also she had a black eye, and Sam questioned if Mario had hit her on January 11th. So
And did she admit to that?
She did not, but he saw her black eye. And
Okay.
Sam's pretty aware.
Okay. We'll call Mr. Murphy next. But she told you that she was being assaulted by Mario. Is that correct?
Yes, and that was her boyfriend. Yes.
Okay.
And terrifying.
And I will say this. Well, let's go to page 9, Miss Bustamante. Do you see where she says, that's what I'm doing, the only thing with me is, do you see that? Where she says she's not on drugs?
That's what I'm doing. The only thing with me is I'm not on drugs or anything. The man started helping me with the truck and it kind of went from there. And he turned out to be a completely different person. Can you please come get me? Mario has many exes, and Sam questioned you in January about Mario and you fighting. I am begging for help, please. And it continues that I was not willing to put the children in that environment. So I'm asking if she's money, how can she get away? If I can be honest, no, I did not sell the truck, knew I got loan. Do you want me to keep reading?
No, just let's stop
Okay.
for a second. Let's
Okay.
go down to on page 10.
I should have told you the truth.
I mean, she at some point, did you have a telephone conversation with her or was it just the text messages?
Yes, we've tried to have conversations, but she becomes super volatile with me.
Okay, let's explain to the court your experience, and you can stop sharing, Ms. Bustamante. Thank you. Can you share with the court your experiences with Ms. Mayfield and her volatility?
Yes, I'll try to have a conversation, and then she just erupts, and she's tried to tell me that, I'm just a white entitled person. I have 4 Black children, and 4 Black grandchildren. So it's not a race thing. She just becomes super volatile. She has threatened if I contact her, she's going to charge me with harassment. And then like in the evening, she would call and ask if I have any clients for her travel agent business. And then she's threatened me on a text to charge me with federal kidnapping, claiming Denzel was not Sam's child. And so it's super volatile, unpredictable. And so, my husband continuously said, call me if you can't reach Sally or if you don't want to talk to Sally. But it's just this, it's very, very erratic.
Okay. And has Sam expressed to you on occasion her anger issues?
Yes,
Okay.
that she's angry and suffers severe depression.
And has Ms. Mayfield herself admitted this to you?
She has apologized for her outburst or her anger or her reaction. And then I've actually had asked LaDelcia, Sam's sister, about it, and she said, oh no, because I said, is she okay? She seems very manic. Oh, she just gets like this. So it's unpredictable. And I mean, I think that's what we saw with the kids too, is kind of uncertain of what was going to happen always.
Let's talk a little bit about kind of the history of the relationship. When you watched these children for about 6 weeks early on in their life. Is that right?
That's right. And it started before that. We went and furnished their apartment right when Denzel was born. And at that time they were in Prairie View? They were in Prairie View. And so we furnished their whole apartment, set up Doomie's room, set up their room, the baby's room. And then they joined us for Thanksgiving. Goodness, like less than 3 weeks later, and we kept Denzel in our bed overnight so Treese could rest, and really tried to, form this relationship. And then we lost touch with them. And then our son Samuel was hit by a car as a pedestrian in November. On November 23rd, Treese called me immediately. I went down.
I'm sorry, Miss Murphy, what year was that? Was it that he was hit by a car?
2023. And I immediately went to Houston to see him in the airport, in the hospital. And at that point, we brought the kids back with us to Austin. And they were with us for 6 weeks at that time.
And then you lost contact with them for a period of time?
Yes, I continually tried to reach out to them. We had offered to move them after his accident to buy them a house in Leander so we could help with the kids and help our son with his horrendous injuries.
I mean, he was actually lucky to survive that accident. Isn't that correct?
He's very lucky to have survived that. My husband is better with all of his injuries that he sustained, but he had a broken back and wrist and a torn ACL and you name it, he had it from going through a window. And so we offered to move them to Leander, and Treese was adamant that that was not going to happen, and we wanted to help them. So we lost contact. I tried to reach out to Sam. I emailed Treese. I did everything for these past 2 years trying to touch base with our son and our grandkids. And Sam would occasionally reach out to me, almost like hiding in wherever they were living. They'd been evicted multiple times. But Treese did not want anything to do with us, and wanted to kind of have control over Sam and the kids.
Tell me
we
this.
just want to help.
To your knowledge, how many times have they been evicted since Miss Mayfield's had the children?
Let's see, Prairie View, then the hospital. I believe it's been 2 to 3 times that I'm aware of, and I know that they lived in hotels, and that Sam's sister LaDelsha helped pay for those so they would not be living in their car.
And actually, one of the children has commented on living in the hotels. Isn't that right?
That is correct. Yes.
Can you tell the court which child said what?
Denzel, we went on a trip and stayed in a hotel for a vacation, and Denzel got very nervous staying in the hotel, and he said, but I don't want to live here. I like the White House, which is our farm. And I said, oh, Denzel, we're not living here. This is just a vacation. We stay here and then we leave. Our bags are here, but we're not living here. We still have the White House. And I had to call my husband and say, can you please show Denzel the farm in his bedroom so he knows that we're not living in a hotel. And that Denzel was extremely nervous about. I mean, Denzel requires so much predictability that he is easily triggered and his trauma resurfaces easily.
Was there any doubt based on his comments to you that he had spent time living in hotels and he remembered it clearly?
Oh, he clearly remembered the hotels. And in fact, there was a time we got lost driving in Dallas, Todd did, and he took the wrong exit. And this is early on, as we traveled back and forth, and we pulled over into a motel to turn around to go back on the other road. And Denzel panicked and he's yelled, "No, I don't like it here." And we're like, we're just turning around. We're just turning around, buddy. Like, we're not going to stay here. And he said, and he recalls some story of living in a tiny room, and I assume that's a hotel.
Okay. Are you asking the court to appoint you and your husband as temporary sole managing conservators of these children?
Absolutely.
And prior to filing this petition, did you have care, custody, and control of these children for the 6 months preceding when you filed?
Yes.
All right. And do you believe that if the court returned the children to Miss Mayfield, that it would pose an immediate danger to their emotional well-being and physical development?
Absolutely. I absolutely fear for the children if they are to be returned.
Okay. And the children today, as they are with you, are vastly different than the children that came into your possession in January. Is that a correct assessment?
That is absolutely true. Don't even recognize them.
Okay. And you think it was absolutely what is necessary to protect these children that you be appointed the temporary sole managing conservator?
Absolutely.
Do you believe that, and it's both Mr. Murphy and Miss Mayfield need to attend some kind of drug and alcohol assessment, although Mr. Murphy's already in rehab, but that Miss Mayfield should do the same to address any addiction issues she may have?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And Sam has continued and he's done extensive, I know you'll ask him, but he's 7 months sober and attends therapy, and he is working so hard so he can be the best for himself and the best for his children. And
And you and your husband have filed what we call a proposed disposition of issues, which is what we're asking the specific relief from the court. Is that correct?
yes.
All right, Judge. And that's just housekeeping. That's P1. I would move to introduce P1, Judge, which is our proposed disposition of issues.
Ms. Mayfield, proposed disposition of issues is essentially a statement of what it is that they're asking the court to do. And it is labeled as P1, and I'd like to know if you have any objections to P1.
Yes, Your Honor, I do have objections, and I clearly understand what it means because I have one myself.
Okay, all right. That objection is overruled, and when you try to introduce your proposed disposition of issues, I'm going to let it in as well. All right, so P1 is admitted.
And so at this time, I pass this witness, Judge.
Okay, we're going to have to take our morning break, but I have a question for Sally Murphy.
Yes.
With regards to visitations, when you've offered for Miss Mayfield to come, since you're in a farm, I'm wondering, do you have the ability to host her? Meaning, can she come and stay in your at the farm? Is there a place for her to stay there to visit if she would have visited in the past 6 months, or if she were to visit more in the future?
We do have space in our home. I have concerns for safety and volatility.
So,
Um,
and I'm
But
asking,
we do have space in our home. Yes, we have ample space on our farm.
I'm asking, I don't know what the farm setup is, but I know what a farm is, and there's usually a lot of land, and I want to know if there's like a different building or a different area in the property that she would be able to stay at.
Just the house.
Currently just the house, and we're in the process of building a garage apartment, but currently it is just our house.
Okay.
But we're in the process of building a garage
asking-
apartment.
I'm thinking about the cost involved with all of this distance.
Correct.
For, I mean, not only in travel expenses, but everything else that comes with these distances, which do not make things easy for anyone.
I totally understand that.
So, all right, I just wanted to know that. We're going to go on our morning break. We're going to take 15 minutes and then we're going to come back. I assume when we come back, Miss Locke, you're going to call Sam Murphy and then Miss Mayfield.
Yes, Judge.
Okay, that way you know, Miss Mayfield, there are going to be some questions of Sam Murphy and then some questions of you, and then I'm going to allow you. And actually, I need to allow you time to cross-examine and ask any questions of Sally and Todd Murphy. So when we come back, I'm going to let you do that first, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So
Thank you.
think of any questions you want to ask them when we come back. We're going to take 15 minutes. It's 10:41, so let's just say 10:55, log back in, all right?
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Okay, we're back on the record on FM 26004183. Miss Locke, call your next witness.
Judge, I would call Sam Murphy.
All right, Mr. Murphy, there he is. Okay, thank you. You may proceed.
Will you please state your name for the record?
Samuel Murphy.
And you have been proven through paternity testing to be the dad of both Denzel and Sahara. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you are asking the court to adjudicate your parentage today. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And was there any doubt in your mind that you were the daddy of those two babies?
Oh, most definitely not.
Okay. And the issue only came up recently because Miss Mayfield had indicated at some point recently that she didn't believe you were Denzel's father. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And that's actually what prompted us to get the DNA test, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Prior to the last 2 months, had Miss Mayfield ever told you before that you weren't the dad of Denzel?
No, ma'am, not at all.
All right. And let's start with this. Did you and Miss Mayfield have a relationship filled with domestic violence?
Very toxic. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you have a substance abuse issue, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And what is your substance abuse issue?
I abused alcohol, marijuana, and occasionally ecstasy pills.
Okay. And what is your date of sobriety?
January the 11th, 2025. 2026. I apologize.
That's okay. And you are doing what kind of program currently?
I'm in a year-round program where basically I've obtained sobriety, going through the 12 steps. I mentor some of the guys now. I work on a full-time job, like 52 hours a week.
All right, how many hours a week, sir?
52.
Thank you.
We go to meetings every day. I have to go to AA meetings every day. I'm in therapy once a week. I'm also attending GED classes as well. And I'm also next month I start parenting classes. I completed IOP, intensive outpatient therapy.
Okay. How long are you going to be at this program?
I will be here until March 20th.
Of 2027?
27, yes, ma'am.
Okay. And do you think you staying there for that length of time is necessary for you to be a good parent to your kiddos?
Oh yes, most definitely. It gives me that time frame. It gives me that time frame to actually focus on the things that I actually need to do. Without the stress, without the, it's very needed for me right now.
Okay. Now, Miss Mayfield, in your opinion, did she have an issue with substance abuse as well?
Oh yes, ma'am. We did them together. We did almost everything together.
Okay. And so could you tell the court, would Miss Mayfield consume alcohol with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. How often would she get intoxicated?
We got intoxicated almost every day.
Okay.
What is the time frame we're talking about?
When did you stop living with Miss Mayfield?
I stopped living with Miss Mayfield November, maybe 15th, November 15th of, no, yeah, around November 15th, 2025.
Okay. And prior to that, you all had been cohabitating with your two children, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And were you all getting intoxicated every day with the children around?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And was there any other person there to care for the children other than you two?
Her kids sometimes. A little bit we were staying with, before I had got kicked out, I went to jail, August, around like July of 2025. I spent 20 something days. July 15, I spent 20 days or something like that, 25 days in jail. I got out August 5th, and at that time, we were staying with her aunt. I mean, her previous baby daddy, her previous kid's father, her other kid's father, mother.
Okay. Just out of curiosity, how many times have you and Miss Mayfield been evicted?
3 times.
Okay. And those are the 3
4
times since you've had the children?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And did Miss Mayfield do ecstasy with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Did she smoke marijuana with you?
Yes, ma'am.
How
And
often? Sorry, go ahead.
if she didn't smoke with me, she'd probably take the gummies, CBD gummies.
And would Miss Mayfield be violent with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can you describe for the court Miss Mayfield's temper?
Man, I didn't. Man, she's crazy sometimes.
Okay. So I understand you're saying that, but I don't know that the court understands what that means, right? So can you describe for the court in a little more detail, like what happens when Miss Mayfield gets angry?
I get candles thrown at me. I done got stabbed. I done got
When
my
did she-
hands put on all the time.
Okay. When you say you got your hands put on, I don't know what that means.
Like she didn't put her hands on me quite frequently.
Okay. And you said she stabbed you. When did that occur?
Maybe I know it was right before doing Jeremy, her son's graduation.
So would that have been May
That
of
was
2025?
yes, ma'am.
And where were the children when she stabbed you?
They were also in the hotel.
So this occurred in the hotel room?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so the children were on the bed in the hotel room. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And you all were in the same room with the children.
Yes, ma'am.
And where did she stab you?
On my shoulder, on my
Okay.
left shoulder.
How many times did she stab you?
She stabbed me once, but it was with 2 knives.
Okay. And did you have any resulting scars from from that action?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And why, if you know, did she stab you?
Well, I was pretty intoxicated. I guess I came back in the room from literally downstairs visiting a friend, and I come in, and I guess she thought that I was aggressive, whatever. And I don't understand like why she did it, but I was coming toward her to take the knives out of her hand, you know, and we got to tussling, me trying to take the knives out of her hand, and I just seen blood everywhere. I mean, I just started seeing blood, and then I guess she finally got the knives out, so I just exit out the apartment, the room, and then she called the police. I left or whatever. I guess the police came, and then after they left or whatever, I came back and I fell asleep.
And I'm just sorry, the knives were stuck in you?
No, it was a quick jab.
Okay. How often were you all living in hotels?
We were living in hotels for about maybe 6 months, maybe 6 to 8 months.
Off and on in different hotels or the same one?
It was probably different ones, but we stuck to one for quite a bit.
Okay. Do you believe that returning the children to Miss Mayfield would be a safe thing for the children to go to?
No, ma'am. I mean, no, ma'am.
Okay. Can you tell the court why the children would not be safe if they were living with Miss Mayfield?
I mean, basically because I mean, while we were together, I can understand like when we were together, you know, the alcohol use, you know, and then like you know her frustration that she had from them as well. You know, she yelled at them. She had a temper with them. She popped them as well. You know, like and like right now their well being right now is just super attentive to. Like they're attentive to. You know, like when they were with us, they weren't getting the things that they needed at the time, you know, like what they're getting now. You know, they need their education. They need to be outside, you know, they need all of these things. They don't need other people involved in their lives, you know, just babysitting, you know. They need structurers, you know, they need to learn how to be kids, you know. You know, Stability. That's what they need. That's what I'm trying to get at.
You've
Stability.
seen them this summer, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and did you see a difference in your children when you saw them this
Oh, most
particular?
definitely.
All right, can you describe the difference that you've seen in your children since you went back in January to rehab to now?
My son Denzel actually had a whole conversation with me, and that it was remarkable. like, he's usually, he's usually short with words, right? And for him to actually grab my hand and tell me this and tell me that and show me this, what I can do and stuff like that. Like he is like he's always been like that, but like here recently is like he's actually using his words now. Wanting to do things. He's happy, um stronger now,
Tell me this. Do you believe that you and Miss Mayfield neglected the children?
yes.
Okay,
I do believe so.
okay.
That we weren't the best parents for we weren't the best parents for we tried everything that we could, we did everything that we could, for what we had, especially after the accident, you know. These past 3 years has been rough. It's been super rough.
Now, do you believe that Miss Mayfield needs to get some sobriety under her belt to be a better parent? You went on mute, Mr. Murphy.
Yes. I
Okay.
think we both needed to.
Okay. And was that something that you and Miss Mayfield had discussed, that both you all needed to get sober?
I knew that I needed to, it was just hard for me to do it on my own,
Okay.
and especially, I needed to get away from I needed to get away from my surroundings.
Okay. And sitting here today, based on your knowledge and experience with Miss Mayfield, does she have addiction issues?
I believe so. Yes, ma'am.
Do you believe that the children's, if they go back with her, that their physical well-being and emotional development will be harmed if will pose a significant risk to them if they are returned to Miss Mayfield?
I don't think that they would be as happy as they are now.
Okay. Well, tell me this. She still works graveyards to the best of your knowledge, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And I think you actually saw her with a black eye. Is that right?
Yes, I remember it was a phone call where I did see her with a black eye, yes.
Okay. And did you ask her how she got it?
Yeah, she ignored the question.
Okay. Did you have any doubt of where it came from?
No, I really knew, kind of.
And what did you know that bruise to be from?
It had to be from physical altercation.
Okay. Do you believe that?
Mario or something.
Okay. And do you believe that family violence occurring in front of the children is would significantly impair the children's emotional health and physical well-being?
They don't need to see that, yes.
Okay. All right. So you're asking the court to grant the relief that Dr. Miss Murphy are requesting. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you believe that those their requests are necessary for the safety and welfare of the children?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Pass the witness, Judge.
Mr. Murphy, when you stated that you lived in hotel rooms 6 to 8 months, that was while with the children, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And when you all were residing in the hotel rooms, did the kids go to any daycare during the day and that's where they came home to? Or what was happening with the kids during the day?
So, during the day, they would be with me. During the day, trees. Excuse me. Trees would. She was working from home at the time. And while she was on the laptop, I would occasionally take them out, but You know, we literally just stayed at the hotel most of the time because our vehicle was unreliable at the time. And
what were the kids doing? These are little kids. They're very active at that time. At that
Mhm.
so what were they doing during the daytime in the hotel room?
Man, they were honestly on their tablets a lot of the time.
Okay. What about food when it was time for lunch or snack? Who
Oh,
who
I
handled?
would, I would, I would handle all the food, and I would handle all the food and everything like that while she was at work.
What about their bath time and at the end of the day or that kind of stuff?
Sometimes she would do it, sometimes we would split it.
Okay. You said you went to jail in July of 2025. What did you go to jail for?
For warrants that I had in 2017.
Related to?
Um, I think, oh shoot, that was a long time ago. It was from failure to appear. But the failure to appear was they had put me on probation at the time of not aggravated, but assault, bodily injured
Okay. Was that the first time that
in
you were?
possession.
Okay, thank you. Was that the first time you were incarcerated?
Um, I've been incarcerated multiple times when in my teens and early 20, not really none of my 20s, but early 20, well, like 21.
What about since the children have been born?
Never.
Other than July 2025?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Mayfield, I'm going to give you the opportunity to cross-examine and ask questions of Mr. Murphy and also of of Sally and Todd Murphy. But Mr. Murphy's already on, so you may ask any questions of him if you'd like.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Murphy, if you feel that, do you feel that my parenting was, do you feel that I was a parent throughout the whole time we've had Denzel and Sahara?
Did you say a bad parent?
Unfit,
Oh,
or that could, yes, ma'am, bad.
Um, I feel that I feel yes, I do feel like it was unfit
Okay, so you
on
had,
both ends.
that's understanding. Okay, so with you feeling that our parenting style was unfit, um, did you ever report that? Did you ever try to get their situation better? Did you try to help the situation?
No,
Okay, and the 3 times that we were evicted, the first time we were evicted, um, was it because you left to go to the oil field and you left with your brother and got fired and we lost our home?
I did leave to better my get a better job. Yes, and yes, I did leave with my brother, and no, that I did not get fired.
No, the question was, did you leave with him and that's why we lost our home? That's why we were evicted that first time?
I left to better myself. Yes, and I couldn't go back to my old job. That's why we got evicted.
Okay, thank you. The second time that we got evicted after you had your accident, um, was it because I kept calling out to make sure I got you the physical therapy and all of your doctor's appointment to maintain your health?
No, it was because you went through 2 or 3 jobs at the time.
Can you recall the 2 or 3 jobs that I had?
No, I cannot.
Okay, you don't recall me working at AT&T with your sister?
I mean, yeah, I remember that now. Yes. Why did you lose that job?
Okay, my next question is, the day that we were on the phone, January 11th, and allegedly I had a black eye, did you make a report on that, knowing that your kids were here?
I reported it to my parents, and I was in a program at the time.
Did you make a police report about it though? Being that, you know,
No,
your children was in harm's way allegedly. Did you make a report of that to the police?
no,
Okay, and do you have any evidence showing that I had a black eye?
no.
That's all. No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. How about for Sally and Todd Murphy? Would you like to ask some questions to them?
Yes, ma'am. Miss
All right,
Miss
hold on.
Murphy.
Let's get them on
Okay.
video, so you can cross-examine. One moment.
Okay.
Sally and Todd Murphy. There we go. Okay. All right, Miss Mayfield, they're on. Mr. Sam Murphy, go ahead and turn off your sound. You can stay on video, of course, but turn off your sound for me. And Sally and Todd Murphy are now on. Miss Mayfield, go ahead.
Okay. Hi, Miss Murphy. I recall you making it aware of the fact that you're a social worker. Are you a social worker?
I am. I was. I don't practice anymore.
Okay. So in January, when you picked up my children and the state they were in was horrible and horrendous, allegedly, did you make a report of that right then and there to Child Protective Services?
Not right then and there because they were in safe care with us at that point, but I did make 2 calls to Child Protective Services.
Can I ask, when did you make those calls to Child Protective Services?
I don't have the exact dates in front of me, but I can get them to you. But I did not call once I had them because I knew they were safe and not in harm's way. But I can look to see, or my attorney will have the dates of the 2 CPS calls I've made.
And let me interrupt to say, Todd Murphy, you're right next to Sally Murphy, but you're not to talk to her at this time. I saw that you were whispering something to her.
Yes, Your Honor.
This is not your time to speak. It's Sally Murphy's time to speak, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Miss Mayfield, you ask the next question.
Okay, Mrs. Murphy, do you have any evidence at all of my children's state that they were in pertaining to, you said you took them to an evaluation? Did you have anything from the doctor stating the bad state that they were in, like his motor skills, anything of that nature? Do you have the evidence of that?
From Kid Ventures, I have the report stating the level that Denzel was at. And as a mom, having raised so many kids, that I knew that Denzel was very, very far behind. And I had great concerns about his stemming and his, as you have acknowledged, his very bad speech delay. And I know you've acknowledged since then how much better he is talking and seeing how much stronger he is. But when he came to us, yeah, there were just great concerns, and his teeth concerned me deeply. And, you know, having 9 root canals at such a young age was very concerning, and so many caps on his teeth, that was concerning. And also, just as a parent, I wanted a well check because they were not healthy when we got them. And I just wanted a kind of a baseline to make sure everything was okay, knowing they had not received proper, adequate, timely medical care.
Okay, so the question was, do you have any evidence from the doctor stating?
Yes. Kid Ventures sent a report of how far behind Denzel was, and they provided the time frame in which we were working on those goals. And through our just basic play and interactions on a daily basis, Denzel has met every one of his goals with us. When I look at the report from Kid Ventures, yes. So I do have evidence of that, of how severely behind Denzel was, yes. And they were referred by our pediatrician as well for therapy. And it's taken a good while to just stabilize them because of the level of trauma that they had suffered.
Oh, okay. Are you testifying today based on your professional assessment of me being that you are a social worker, or is this based off of information from other resources of me? Because we haven't really been around each other that long for all of these allegations.
So I'm not a
accusations.
social worker.
Okay, hold on. Miss Murphy, she wasn't done. You need to
Oh.
let her finish
Okay.
saying what she's saying. And Miss Mayfield, I need to redirect you to just ask her the question
Yes, ma'am.
and then let her answer rather than ask a question and then make a statement. Go ahead and ask
Yes,
her a question.
Okay. Professional assessment of me or information from other people?
The assessment of the children was based on me being a parent and a grandparent and knowing that, having been around children as a mom and a grandparent,
was-
that I
Okay.
guess I'm not understanding. My assessment is I was able as a grandma to see that they were not where they needed to be developmentally.
All right, Ms. Mayfield, I'll ask the next question.
Okay. Have you ever personally observed any conduct by me to make you believe that my children were in danger?
I have not. I have had your interactions and your anger and your erratic conversations, but your children have shared with me the events of their life, and they're very clear on what they witnessed and what they experienced, where they were in harm's way.
Okay, so Ms. Murphy, from my understanding, I never. Okay. Have I not at all made plans to come and see my children?
Oh, yes, we were scheduled to have you come on June 19th, and I invited you to the farm prior to that so you could see everything they're doing here, from them planting their flower seeds to growing flowers. They wanted to show you how they fish now on their own. I said, I think the text was, I want to show you their joys at the farm. So, and then on July 19th, we waited for your arrival, and we didn't hear from you all day until you yelled at me through a text to pick up that phone. You are here, but you were in the wrong location. Knowing that the kids go to school, we're going to their summer school here in Fayetteville.
We just lost them. Somebody left Zoom. I'm sorry, there you are.
Somebody left, but I don't think it's anybody in this case.
Okay, for a minute, I didn't see the Murphys. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, Ms. Mayfield, any other questions for them? We still need time, of course, for you to be called and for you to testify in the narrative, should you choose to do that.
Testify on the narrative. What does that mean?
Miss Locke probably has questions of you, and then I'm going to allow you to do your own. You're not going to ask yourself questions, so you're going to be able to speak in the narrative for yourself as a self-represented litigant.
Does that mean I'm able to show my exhibits and?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. But I want to make sure you're done asking questions of Sally Murphy.
Yes, one more question. Mrs. Murphy, I recall you mentioning his fine motor skills, and there was a statement where he couldn't crawl or walk upstairs. When y'all came and got them, he didn't have the strength at all to climb or to do anything active.
No, he was able to climb stairs, but for a typical 4-year-old, he was extremely far behind, and neither child had the endurance or strength, and his postural core was incredibly weak, and that has since developed. And I think my statement was they were not playing on the playscapes as typical children their ages, especially Denzel, and now he's far exceeded those expectations. And I think I was also speaking to how far behind they were socially with peers. And they've come just an extraordinary length in that, just with all the interactions and parks and outings and museums we go to. But it was in reference to, yes, they were not typical children their ages as far as fine motor skills and gross motor skills. And that's also based on a professional evaluation through Kid Ventures. And as you know, and you've stated through text and hearing them talk, that he is now, you can tell he's doing so much better. I can tell it in his language. These children are, I mean, they're swimming the length of a pool. They don't use floaties. They literally swim every day for hours on end. And the confidence is there. They didn't have confidence. Denzel has grown 1.5 inches. And I equate a lot of that to proper nutrition, proper sleep, no stress, and adequate sunshine and play. And Sahara is way less anxious now, and she was very tiny, almost a failure to thrive. And she is now, loves her scooter, starting to ride her bicycle, swims also laps with no flotation devices, just on her own, swims laps. So yes, they were very behind and very concerning, especially Denzel, which is why we sought an evaluation.
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Ms. Locke?
Judge, I just have one thing to clean up with Miss Murphy, that you need to introduce some medical records.
Okay.
So I'm going to share the screen with, I think it's P12. I'm sorry, P15.
Okay.
And these are, it was Liberty Hill Pediatrics that you took them to, both kids to, right?
Correct.
And these are true and correct copies of the visit to Liberty Hill Pediatrics back in January of 2026, shortly after they came in your care, custody, and control.
First of all, yes, we went to Liberty Hill Pediatrics, and it was a very short well child check, and therefore I switched and got another well child check, and Liberty Hill admitted that that was not a thorough exam, so we went to another pediatrician that was more thorough. But yes, they immediately did go, and we sought, yes, Texas Children's Pediatrician, and that physician was very concerned about Denzel.
Okay, but let's talk about these records for a second. These are true and correct copies of the records, right?
Yes.
All right, Judge, I move to introduce P15.
Any objection, Ms. Mayfield?
No, Your Honor, no objection.
P15 is admitted.
And I just want to go to let's start with page 3, which are the findings on Denzel. And it shows, and you'll see under today's visits, that without abnormal findings, but he had a speech delay and a fine motor delay. Do you see that?
Yes.
And do you see the percentages that Denzel was at with regards to the rest of his peers at that time? Where was he?
In the 50th percentile.
Okay. And let's go look at Sahara. You said something about failure to thrive. Was that, were you referring to her now or when she was a baby?
When, well, it's interesting. When she was 1, she was, there were concerns there, but when we got her, I would have considered her failure to thrive based on her size. And the pediatrician, the second pediatrician, was as well concerned, but we didn't have past records. As of today, she's taller, she's gained weight, she's not like this little feather to pick up, and I would not consider her at risk for failure to thrive. She was at the 7th percentile, and she is now, she is at 29.7 pounds, I think that's about right where she's at now, but she's grown tall, and she's super strong now. Like, she has little defined muscles. And Denzel is at 40 pounds, very lean. He kind of came to us kind of just no muscle whatsoever. And now he has
So-
little back muscles. He's
Let's
cute.
back up a little bit. So Sahara was set in the 7th percentile for weight.
Correct.
That's the bottom 7th percentile, correct?
Correct.
And
Correct.
she was also in the 12th percentile for height. Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay. And she has grown since this January visit, right?
That is correct.
Do you know how much
She-
she has grown?
She has gained almost 4 pounds, and she has grown an inch, and we are now on her third or fourth pair of shoes. Her foot has grown, and Denzel's on his third pair of shoes. And we've had to up their clothing sizes as well.
Okay. I don't have any other witnesses. Oh, I'm sorry. Any other questions? I just wanted to clean up some medical records.
Okay, call your next witness.
I'll call Miss Mayfield.
Miss Mayfield, you can unmute yourself. You may proceed, Miss Locke.
Miss Mayfield, why didn't you send your children with any clothing or any of their items when they left with the Murphys in January?
Because when we were on the phone and when we made the arrangement, I was told, quote unquote, you don't have to pack a bag, you don't have to send them anything. As the same thing she did when Sam had his accident. She said, you don't have to send them anything, we'll take care of it. That's what she's always done. So I sent them with nothing. They still have clothes in their closet with tags on them. They still have their toys in their rooms.
Okay. And tell me this, you could have sent them with their favorite toy, correct?
Correct.
And you didn't, correct?
Correct.
And you've had the ability to go see them over the last 7 months, right?
Actually, no. Every time I made a plan, it was always, we're in Arkansas, we're out of town, we're unavailable.
Okay. And that's reflected in the text messages, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And so each and every time you've reached out, you will see a corresponding text message where my clients are telling you no. Is that what you're telling this court under oath?
I didn't say they said no. I said they were out of town, or they're unavailable, or they're always in Arkansas. As
Okay.
well as me asking for the Arkansas address, and I was told contact our attorney.
Okay. And in fact, I reached out to you previously back in, I think, June and July, asking to come up with some kind of visitation schedule. Do you recall that?
No, I don't recall that.
You don't recall receiving emails from me when I sent, after I talked to you on the phone, verified your emails, sent you emails asking to work out a visitation schedule? You're telling the court you don't remember receiving those?
I don't recall.
Okay. Do you recall having a conversation with me on the telephone?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And I asked to verify your email address. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And you gave me the correct email address, correct?
Correct.
And you would agree with me that you have not responded to any of my email correspondences that propose that we do some kind of visitation schedule. Is that right?
No, it's not right. I responded to where you said they came up with an agreement after everything was said and done about us coming here to this hearing.
Okay. And you had the ability when you came down to court a few weeks ago, you had the ability to contact the children daily if you wanted to. Isn't that correct?
That is correct.
And you have not done so. Is that correct?
I have done so.
Well, in fact, there was a period of time where you missed at least 5 days in a row since the last court hearing where you went without talking to the children. Isn't that correct?
No, that's not correct.
You have not missed 5 days in a row?
In a row, no. I contact them, I call. I have, a lot of Sally unavailable. I actually, after court, I start going through Todd because there's no issues with Todd. There's always issues when I call with Sally. And when Todd went out of town, which was like a weekend or maybe a few days, I still reached out to her. As usual, it was some back and forth, so I just waited for Todd's return and presumed to calling them through Todd.
Okay, and so that was an extended period of time that you went without talking to the children, correct?
It was 5 days. No,
Okay.
ma'am.
Tell me this, when was the last time you drank alcohol?
The last time I drank alcohol was March when she first told me that I was not going to be able to come and get my kids. I figured this would come about, so I left drugs alone. I'm sober as well, and I'm willing to undergo a drug test.
Okay. And when was the last time you did ecstasy?
Last time I did ecstasy was before we even left Houston, so sometime in 2025.
Okay. When was the last time you did marijuana?
Last time I did marijuana was in March as well.
Okay. And you work where?
I work at Genpack LLC. It's a manufacturing company.
I'm sorry.
I know the court
I'm
reporter is going
sorry.
to have you repeat that.
Yeah, repeat that, please.
Genpack LLC is a manufacturing corporation. We produce to-go plates for like wing stops and restaurants.
And what is your hourly wage?
My hourly wage is $17.07 plus $1.25 differential because I work the night shift.
Okay. And your work hours are when to when?
7 p.m. to 7 a.m.
Okay. And do you have any other jobs other than this job?
On my side job is I'm a travel agent with teletravel agency.
Okay. Have you made any income from that other job?
As of yet, no ma'am.
Okay. And you so you work overnight hours. How many days a week do you work?
My days rotate. So this week I worked Monday and Tuesday. I'm off Wednesday and Thursday. I work Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then since I work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm off Monday, Tuesday. I work Wednesday, Thursday. I'm off Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I use it by the weekends. I'm off every other weekends.
Okay. And so you work from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. The apartment you reside in has how many bedrooms?
It's 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms.
And who is on the lease?
Me, Denzel, and Sahara.
Okay. And your other son is not on the lease? Is that what you're telling
No,
this
my
court?
son is not on the lease because my son attends Tyler Junior College. He's a student in Tyler.
Okay, give me a second. Do you recall providing me your exhibits last time we were in court?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Okay.
To 2 different leases, actually.
And you would agree with me that the lease showed that your son was on it, correct?
Yes, he was on my lease for 12500 Dunlap Street, Houston, Texas, 77035, apartment 767.
And when did you move from that one?
We were evicted early in 2024, I believe. And by then my son had already moved back down here to Longview to complete his senior year at high school. So he was on the lease, but he still was not in the household by the time we were evicted.
Would you agree with me that your son whooped the children?
No, I don't agree with that.
Okay. You would leave your 3 and 4-year-olds with him to watch them overnight while you worked overnight? Is that what you're telling this court?
What I'm telling the court is, no, ma'am. My son was in Tyler when he was here in the home. The father was here in the home as well, and he left and went back to college. I did not kick him out because of him whooping them. He went back to school. No one was here. My aunt, where I work, and she's a mother as well, and she has a daycare as well.
So when did you start this job with the evening hours?
I started this job with the evening hours in August 13th, 2025.
Okay, and so in August 2025, you had possession of the children, correct?
Correct.
And you kicked Mr. Murphy out of the residence when?
Around November.
Okay. And so from November until January, which is when my clients took the children, who was watching the children overnight when you would go to work your night shifts?
My aunt Jennifer Jones.
Okay. And where was she watching them at?
She was watching them at her home.
Okay. And did you have them in any kind of school program? Were you receiving any kind of government support that would help pay for daycare? Did you have any of those services coming to you?
I couldn't receive government support because of the wage that I make at my job. I didn't qualify for it.
Okay. And would you agree with me that your children were behind in speech?
Denzel has always had a speech impairment. However, Sahara speaks clearly.
Okay.
It is not due to lack of education or any learning
Excuse me.
facilities is, there's a billion kids in the world that's just born that way.
Okay. And what services did you attempt to get for your son to address his speech delay?
None.
Okay. And tell me this, did you stab Mr. Murphy when you all were living in that hotel?
Yes, I did. He attacked me in front of the children.
Okay. And so you stabbed him in front of the children, is that right?
Yes, it was reflex. He punched me 2 times. I flew on the wall in the kitchen. I begged him to stop because the children were looking. I went to the bed because they were crying. He continued to follow me to the bed and he punched me. And so I went in the kitchen. I grabbed a knife. That's when he did try to grab the knife from me. And by then, I stabbed him.
Okay. And neither one of you was arrested for that particular incident, is that correct?
No, ma'am. I called the police and he left soon as I called the police.
So that wasn't my question. It was neither one of you were arrested for
No,
what
ma'am,
happened
neither
that.
one of us was arrested.
All right. And he was never charged with an assault against you, is that correct?
That's correct.
And you have been physically violent with him previously, is that correct?
Previously, no, ma'am.
You're telling this court under oath that you've never engaged in a physical altercation with Mr. Murphy as he has testified to in court?
Under oath saying that after I stabbed him, I have not been physical with Sam Murphy. Sam Murphy has been physical with me.
Before you stabbed him, had you been physical with him?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And can you describe for the court how you would be physical with him?
Push, punch.
And where were the children when this was occurring?
The children were nowhere around. The children started seeing him attack me these last previous months before I put him out. That's why I put him out.
Okay.
Any other fighting was not around the children, and he can attest to that.
Do you believe that you got anger management issues?
I do.
Okay. And what programs have you been doing to address your anger management?
Prior to my release in prison, I went to a counseling session for anger management, parenting, as well as AA at Community Health Court down here in Longview, Texas. It was part of my parole.
Okay, so you went to AA, but then you continued to drink when you were in your relationship with Mr. Murphy, is that correct?
Correct.
All right. And was his testimony correct that you all would drink every single day?
Not every single day, Your Honor, no. Because after his accident, I was the only one with steady income. I was the only one working, so I didn't have the time to drink every day. But did we drink a good bit of deal? Yes, we did.
Okay, and did you also consume ecstasy together on weekends?
Not every weekend, Your Honor, no. It was
Okay.
occasional for me if I'm going out or something. Other than that, no.
I just want to make sure, Miss Mayfield, that you know you're answering to Miss Locke. I think I heard Your Honor, and she's
I probably did. I'm sorry.
yeah, she's not a judge. She's the attorney
Yes,
for the
ma'am.
Murphys, and so I just wanted to make sure that that I pointed that out. But so long
Yes,
as you're
ma'am.
clear, we're good. I just didn't want you to think that it was me asking those questions.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, got it. Okay, next question.
Thank you, Judge. And so, and you had children, those children, young children in your care while you were taking ecstasy with Mr. Murphy, correct?
Correct.
And you all were also consuming marijuana at the same time, correct?
Correct.
All right. And do you believe that at that particular time that you were the appropriate parent for those children?
Yes, ma'am. I believe I was appropriate parent. My drug usage and my parenting is 2 separate things. I'm a mother regardless of what I do.
I'm sorry, you said your drug use is separate and apart from your parenting. Is that what you just said?
Yes, ma'am. So that means regardless of if I'm on drugs or doing drugs, I'm still a mother. I'm still a parent. I still make sure my children was taken care of and their needs was handled.
I passed the witness.
Okay, Ms. Mayfield, and so now it's your opportunity to respond or give me more context or information, including talk about your exhibits. When you bring them up, you have to obviously introduce them. I'm going to ask Ms. Locke if she objects or not, and then I have to issue a ruling as to each one. But now the floor is yours to tell the court what you need to tell the court explain to the court what you're asking for, and present any of your evidence and exhibits. I do want to ask you a question myself before we get started with that. What does your household look like? Who lives in your house currently?
The only person who lives in my household right now, Your Honor, is me.
Okay, you're living by yourself, and I want to get a better understanding of your hours at the manufacturing job, because you said it shifts, so you don't have consistent days off, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So, for example, this week, when are your days off?
This week, my days is today, tonight, and Thursday night.
Okay, because it's overnight shift, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and what are your days off? I'm sorry, this week, what are your days off?
This week, my days off is tonight, Wednesday night, and Thursday night.
Okay. So when you have your day off, when does your work day end the day before? I'm trying to understand, like, what are the gaps of time? Do you ever have 2 days off together?
Yes, ma'am, tonight and Thursday night.
That's right. It's Wednesday. So you've got 2. So when do you return to work?
I return to work Friday night at 7, Saturday night at 7, Sunday night at 7. And I get off each mornings at 7 a.m.
Okay. Do you ever have the weekends off?
Yes, ma'am, my weekends rotate. It's a rotating schedule.
Okay. So you get your fair share of weekends, but they're not consistent every weekend.
Yes, ma'am. It's every other weekend. So
Okay.
2 weekends out of the month, or if it's a 5-week month, then 2 to 3 weekends out of the month, I am off.
Okay. And so if the kids were with you, and you've got to work on the weekend, where would you have the kids go?
On the weekend, my aunt, she also has her own daycare. She would more than gladly have the kids. During the day, I don't sleep all day. I wake up, I tend to them, I feed them. We go out, we go to the parks, as well as the father. We've done it numerous of times. No matter the work schedule, they be with my aunt, and that's only while I'm at work.
Okay. All right. So show me your exhibits, and the floor is yours for you to present to the court and to explain to the court what you wish to explain.
Okay, so let's see here. I guess I can just start from how I have it ordered. I don't want to kind of jump around.
Well, we
So the
don't
first
have
one-
we're gonna go over into the lunch hour a little bit, but we don't have unlimited time. So tell me what exhibits you want me to look at, what you're offering, and would you like to talk to the court? Is there anything else you want to tell the court at this time?
Do I do the exhibits first?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear anything. Say that again.
Do I do the exhibits first and then tell the court what I'm requesting, or?
Yeah, let's do the exhibits. Okay, let's go through your exhibits, because the purpose of your exhibit, obviously, there's something you want to talk to me about. So even if the exhibit doesn't come in for whatever reason, if the rules don't allow it to come in, and I rule that they can't come in, there'll be some things you can talk to me about. So go ahead with the exhibits.
Okay. The first exhibit is the. Oh wow, it's so many, and I don't have a lot of time.
And let me pause for a minute. Let's get off the record. Mr. Mesher, you're here, and I want to tell you that your case obviously is not going to be heard before the lunch hour. And so if Ms. Doga Lakova can come on real quick. Okay. I'm going to have you all come back later in the afternoon so that we can do your case. And so I'm checking with you, Ms. Dogalakova. Does 2 p.m. work?
Yeah, I make it work.
Okay. So I will see you all at 2 p.m. on Zoom. Use the same link. I just don't want to keep you here any more time. So you are excused from the virtual courtroom, and I'll take up your case at 2 p.m. and we'll go forward. So you're excused at this time.
Understood. Thank you, Honor.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. All right, let's get back on the record on our case. Okay, Ms. Mayfield, go ahead.
Let me see. I want to go to exhibit. Oh, how do I even? Let me.
And let me tell you that I have
I
them
have to
up.
pull it up. I'm sorry.
Let me tell you that I have them in front of
Ma'am?
me. Ma'am, can you hear me?
Okay, great.
I
Yes,
have
ma'am.
them.
Can you hear me still?
Yes, I'm trying to tell you that if you have difficulty publishing the exhibit, I do see the exhibits in the box file, and I'm sure Ms. Locke can follow along and open it on her side. So if you tell us what number you're looking at, I can look at it even if you're not able to share it.
Okay, great. So exhibit. It starts with exhibit R-019, saying that I wasn't trying to send any care for them. I texted well, she was explaining their day, how they're happy, and the things that they did, and I responded, "Oh, that's good." And what do they need? That was my first notion of trying to see if they needed anything to send them. Being that she's told me not to send them with anything, I'm still trying to make sure.
Okay, let's back up a little bit. R19 is a text message, Ms. Locke. And you're offering R19 into evidence, Ms. Mayfield?
Yes, ma'am.
And that's a conversation between you and Sally Murphy, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, any objections to R19?
No, Judge.
R19 is admitted. All right, go ahead, Ms. Mayfield. Next one.
The next one is R-027. It's also I'm also again trying to make plans for us to come and have a sit down to continue to figure out, the situation that was at hand.
All right, are you offering R27?
Yes, ma'am.
Any objections to R27?
No, Judge.
R27 is admitted.
R-029. Once again, asking if they need anything and also if they had any plans because that weekend I was going to come and see them. And I never got a response. I got a response, but it wasn't pertaining to what I asked.
All right, Ms. Locke, are you offering R29, Ms. Mayfield?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
No.
any objections to R29?
No objections, Your Honor.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Mayfield.
Okay. Narrowing down on time. Trying to find the ones that really. Just to hold on, go back. There is quite a few, but the main one, I'm sorry, I'll have to go back. R-021. I make numerous of calls and a lot of them pops up as, what you're going to see here. And so then, I'm accused of not calling, not contacting, or missing days in a row. And yes, I'm offering that.
And what number was that?
R-021.
021. Okay. Let me open it up. Okay, it's a photo of the text showing that Sally was not available. That's R021. Any objection?
No, Judge.
R21 is admitted. Go ahead, Ms. Mayfield.
And trying to find something that really.
I'm sorry, ma'am, I didn't hear you.
I'm still looking through, just trying to find the main ones instead of trying to. I want to offer exhibit R-047. Also trying to see what their plans were. There was another weekend that I was off trying to come and see them.
Okay, any objections to R47?
No, Your Honor.
R47 is admitted.
And right after that, Your Honor, I want to offer R-048. It's just a continuance of that previous text message, the response that I received after asking what their plans were that I was coming to
I'm sorry, Miss
some
Mayfield, you broke up a
kids.
little. Miss Mayfield? This is the court reporter.
Yes, ma'am.
Your internet is breaking up. You said it's just a continuance of that previous text message response that I received after asking. Repeat what you said after that, please.
After asking to come and see the kids.
Okay, and you're offering which number?
R-048.
Any objections?
No, Your Honor.
R48 is admitted.
I want to offer Exhibit R-056 is also a text message from asking yet again when can I come and get them, and she said that they'll be in Arkansas for the summer. So I then went to say, okay, well, when will y'all be leaving so I can come and get Denzel and Sahara? And I got her refusal response saying that they're not leaving until Sam finishes his program. Nothing ever came about anything of their well-being or the state that they were in until after I sent them.
Okay, R56 is what you're offering. Any objections?
No.
R56 is admitted. I've reviewed it. Ms. Mayfield, you may proceed.
Yes, ma'am. I want to offer R-061.
No objections.
R61 is admitted. Go ahead.
And I want to offer R-078.
Another text message. Any objection?
No, Judge.
R78 is admitted. Go ahead, Ms. Mayfield.
Okay, and when I do R-010.
All right.
Judge, I can simplify this. Miss Mayfield was very nice in our last hearing, our first hearing. She had given me a copy of her evidence. And I don't have any issues with anything that she wants to admit. I mean, some of the text messages, just for clarification, aren't time stamped or date stamped, but I know I've introduced the whole series of messages. So the one she's introducing, I don't have any objections.
Okay,
So-
so as soon as she introduces it, just say no objections and I'll say the key words.
Yes, ma'am.
R10 is admitted. Ms. Mayfield, I'm looking at it. So whenever you want to pull up any more evidence, say I offer and just give the number, and then Ms. Locke will quickly say she doesn't object, and then I'll say they're admitted. But R10 is admitted, Ms. Mayfield.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. I also want to offer R-011.
No objections.
And you can also offer it in a batch. You can say R this number through that number. That way you can start talking to me. But
Okay.
right now you offered R11 and there's no objections, and let me find it because I don't see R11. Because that's one of the key things is I'm looking to see that what you offer, I'm actually able to see. And I don't see an R11 up in this, in the box. I don't have an R11.
Let me see.
There are some MP3 or MP4 files in the 80s range, but I don't have an R11. So I don't have anything to admit.
Okay. I must have missed. Hold on, let me put this.
But maybe you just missed that number and you went to 13, so you're welcome to move on to the next one.
Okay. And speaking of the 80s, R80 through 83, I believe, are just some little snippets of videos of me and the children. And one is with my aunt that we're watching them while I work.
No objections.
All right, so R80, R81, 82, and 83, they're admitted.
Oh, R-079. I don't know how this was supposed to work, but I made a police report. And on that police report, which is I want to offer R-079, on that police report is also And I had a relationship with Samuel's foster mother, Mrs. Catherine Hubbard,
I'm sorry,
and
ma'am. Hey, ma'am, this is the court reporter again. You broke up. Miss Catherine who?
Catherine Hubbard.
Thank you.
And who is she? And who is she again?
She's Sam's previous foster mother.
Okay.
She was who he was with before Mr. and Dr. and Mrs. Murphy adopted him. And
Okay.
on that police, I mean, I don't know if are you able to pull it up or hear it or?
Well, Judge, I'm going to object.
Hold on. Let me just respond to her question because she's not showing me the police report. It's a card from the Longview Police Department that just has a cause number with the name of the officer. And to answer your question, no, I'm not able to plug in numbers and pull up evidence or anything like that. No, ma'am. You did offer the little card, which is R079. I don't know if there's any objection to the little card.
No objection to the little card.
All right, R79 is admitted, but no, ma'am, to answer your questions, the judge doesn't go and do a search to pull up a cause number or to pull up the police report. It's not that I'm not doing it just for you. It's just that's not how it works and not what we do.
Oh, I apologize for that. I didn't know how it worked. Is there any kind of way that I could, after all of this, like get that to you? It's partially an exhibit. I mean, well, it is an exhibit that.
But let me answer that question. I can't take evidence after today's for purposes of, obviously we're here for these temporary orders. But I also don't know why it would be relevant because this is a family that was involved before Mr. Sam Murphy was adopted by his parents who are here, Sally and Mr. Murphy. So this appears to be history from before he was even adopted by his parents.
Well, yes, ma'am, Your Honor. But it had the situation is kind of similar to the situation that I am in at this moment. And Ms. Hubbard had made a statement on that police report for me as a witness. As of I mean, am I even able to explain it?
Well,
if not, I won't even.
But the kids weren't even born, right?
No, ma'am.
This is a long time ago before you all had babies.
Yes, ma'am.
And so that is not helpful to me. I have to think about what's happening right now and what's in the best interest of the children right now. Now, if you were thinking about that because it has something to do with domestic violence in the past before the children were born, I mean, and you think that's historical context for what you want to tell me, you can talk to me about that. But those documents themselves would not be very helpful at this juncture where we are in the case right now.
Well, it's a little bit historical based off of the situation that I'm currently in now. Deeming me as an unfit parent, and Miss Catherine Hubbard went through the same situation with Dr. and Mrs. Murphy, mainly Mrs. Murphy, before she adopted Samuel and his late brother Ladarius. She had dinner with Mrs. Catherine, and well, allegedly, of course, because I can't speak her statement for her, but allegedly Mrs. Murphy asked for something to drink after the dinner, and she asked for something strong, preferably. Mrs. Hubbard produced a glass of wine. They drank a glass of wine, and then after that, the same accusations and allegations came upon Mrs. Hubbard, allegedly that she was an alcoholic and that the children were around alcohol, and that is how allegedly she was able to adopt Samuel and Ladarius. However, I don't have any more exhibits, but I will say, Your Honor, I'm a good mother, and I had someone helping me with my children. Samuel, the father, contacted me January 11th, the day he alleged saw my black eye and said that his parents are willing to help while both of us just kind of got back stable. The numerous of time I have reached out to come and see my babies. I came Juneteenth. I did arrive at at the wrong location, which wasn't clearly specified due to the fact that one of the exhibits that I presented, I asked the Arkansas address and she never gave it to me. So when we made the plans for me to come for Juneteenth, I assumed that it was in Austin, being that I had the Austin address and not the Arkansas address. However, I've made numerous attempts to care for my babies. I've made numerous attempts to come and see them. I have Denzel is enrolled in school. His first day of school down here was Monday on the 17th. The school is aware of the situation, and they still have his teacher, him a teacher. They just have today until he come home, but he's in school. They have pediatricians. They have upcoming dentist appointments, and that was one of the exhibits. The one that's missing, R11, is one of theirs, but R10 is also one. I have everything that I need for them, Your Honor. I'm not a bad mother. I just feel like all of this came about after I put the father out. You know, there was no allegations or, you know, we're unfit parents or, you know, they were neglected and all of this going on. It shouldn't have to take me to put him out in November for all of this to come about, as well as when I kept pressing the issue of coming to see them and enforcing the fact that, hey, I'm their mother, and, you know, me not being able to see them or have physical contact with them is wrong. And then now I'm unfit, and now, you know, it's just so much, you know, and I just ask that I undergo any drug test because I'm sober as well, and I didn't have to do it at a rehab. I just have to be removed from the father, Samuel.
Okay,
Other than
hold
that,
on.
I still make.
Let me slow you down. You're saying you're asking the court not to order any drug testing?
No, I'm saying I will undergo any.
Oh, that
drug
you're willing
test.
to go through any drug testing.
Yes, ma'am.
Gotcha. I understand. Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, and one of those exhibits, I'm a good mother, Your Honor. Is every parent perfect? No. But I'm not a bad mother. I didn't neglect my babies at all. Everything that I'm doing right now is for the strength of them. On top of the fact that they're aware that me and Samuel, we lost a baby in 2024. I carried him full term, and he was
Hold on.
stillborn.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on. You're breaking up. You
So
said
it's,
you carried.
you know, we've
Hold
had.
on. Hold on 1 second. You broke
We've
up.
had our situations, and we've.
Okay, one
Sorry.
moment. You broke up and then it was coming in pieces, and you're telling me something important and something that was painful for you. You said in 2024 that you went through a pregnancy and you gave birth to a child to a baby that was stillborn, and then I lost you after that.
Yes, ma'am. And after that, I can admit that Samuel, as well as myself, you know, we kind of went down a bad spiral. We just lost a baby and his accident. So yes, you know, we drunk, we did drugs, but we never were bad parents to our kids. We didn't neglect them. Could some of the stuff been avoided? Yes, but we're not bad parents at all. Our kids don't deserve to grow without us. I don't deserve to have my kids taken away from me based off of allegations and accusations. Like, other than hearsay, there's no evidence against anything of me being a bad mother, Your Honor. Anything. And I just lost. I spent 10 years without my oldest 3 kids. I can't make up time for them. I've been doing everything in my power to do what I can for Denzel and Sahara, and I just I don't want to lose them, Your Honor. I love my babies, I do.
Okay, thank you,
And I
Mrs.
just asked the judge to take just, if I have to take a class or whatever, just to prove that, I'm willing to show that I'm doing great on my end as well as a parent and as a mother and as a woman. All I did was put the father out because I didn't want them growing up in a toxic situation. I didn't want them growing up seeing the things that they saw. And I made a sacrifice to allow the Murphys to help while I get stable, not to be accused of being an unfit mother and, slandering my credibility as a mother. Like, it's not fair at all. At all.
So you feel like you asked for help and that was used against you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Is there anything else?
No, ma'am, that's all.
Okay. All right. The court is ready to issue some rulings. One moment. Ms. Pallas, I'm ready when you are.
Ready, Judge.
All right. The first thing I'm going to do, Ms. Mayfield, is I'm going to appoint a guardian ad litem. As you know or heard, there hasn't been a motion, but the court on its own motion is going to appoint a guardian ad litem through our DRO. I'm going to order that there be a child custody evaluation done by the guardian ad litem. That process is going to take approximately 6 months. Today, I'm going to issue some temporary orders, and I want you to understand that I see them as temporary orders where the grandparents, Sally and Todd Murphy, are going to be named sole managing conservators of the children. I'm going to do this while the guardian ad litem does her work. I cannot send these kids to you right now based on the testimony and the evidence that I saw, but I can order a guardian ad litem to set you up for success so that I can come back and take a look and have more information about the living situation in Longview for the kids and what the resources are and what what their environment would be for them in your home. That is the purpose of me appointing a guardian ad litem. In the meantime, so the Sally and Todd Smith are named sole managing conservators. I am not going to order any child support, Miss Mayfield. I'm not going to order you to pay child support because I want you to use that money to travel to see the children as much as you can, and I'm about to get into that. To Sally, with regards to Sally and Todd Murphy, I don't think it's fair for me to give you a geographic restriction of Travis County and Washington County, Arkansas. We talked all about how these children need a routine and they need to be secure in their home and how they need that consistency. And so I want to know, where do you want to keep the kids? In your Northwest Hills home where they would go to daycare here, or in the White House, also known as the farm in Arkansas, that the children apparently really enjoy. So where do you want to be with the kids? I'm not going to let you have both unless there's an agreement by Miss Mayfield. I think that she should be consulted on these issues. So for now, where do you want to be?
I believe, Judge, and they can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe they'd like to remain in Arkansas.
Correct.
Okay.
I'm sorry, did I hear correct from somebody?
Yes,
From,
ma'am. That was Todd Murphy.
Yes, he said correct. What is the name of the, actually, I want the address of the farm.
10050 South Smoky Bear Road, Fayetteville, 72701.
All right, one moment. Smoky, that's quite the address. Smoky Bear.
Isn't it?
Yeah, Smoky Bear Road. Okay, and you said Fayetteville?
Fayetteville,
Fayetteville, thank you. Arkansas, and what was the zip code?
72701.
Okay. And so the court's gonna restrict the residents to that county and to that particular home in 1050 South Smoky Bear Road, meaning if you're gonna move the children anywhere else, it needs to be with the consent of Miss Mayfield, or you need to come back to court. But we're gonna keep the kids in the stable environment that they're in Smoky Bear Road.
Can I offer a correction, Judge? It's
Sure.
10050.
10050 for the zip code?
Zip code is, no, that is the street number, and the zip code is the 727. You said 1050, so I was just making sure we had enough zeros.
10050 South Smoky Bear Road is going to be in Arkansas. 72701, I think, was the zip code.
Correct, Judge. And if I could clarify, so they'll be enrolled in school now that we have the certainty, but we do go to Austin regularly
Visit our daughter.
because that's our primary residence, and I work sometimes, and so we're there. Do we have to notify every time we're going to be going into Austin for the weekend? We're coming back here for school and everything.
You do need to notify Miss Mayfield of the whereabouts of the children if you're going to remove them from South Smoky Bear Road for the weekend. And particularly because I'm going to get into what her visits are going to be, and they need to be flexible to her. So in terms of a visitation with the kids, what I would like to set up is for her to be able to give you 72 hours notice to visit on the weekends, from 10 to 6 on Saturdays and Sundays, but for her to stay at the farm, not overnight. She'd have to pay for her hotel for that night, but that she would be able to come into your property and hang out and spend time with the kids in that property, and that you all, I'm not gonna say that she's supervised. I'm not gonna use the word supervision for Miss Mayfield, but that you would be present at all times in the property, and that she's not to leave the Smoky Bear property unless one of the two of you also come along. So it would be like if they want to go to McDonald's or something, for the children to be out of the property, one of the two of you would come along. And so that would affect your ability to go to Austin if she gives you 72 hours.
That's fine. We're flexible.
Okay. And so what I'm going to have for possession and access is that Ms. Mayfield needs to give 72 hours notice via text message, and if she's going to come and exercise a weekend. And Ms. Mayfield, if you want to come any weekend that you want to go, you just have to give them 72 hours notice, and you're entitled to see the kids from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on that Saturday and that Sunday. And notice that I'm not saying first, third, and fifth. Any weekend that you give them 72 hours, you get to go on Saturday and on Sunday from 10 to 6 to be with the kids. And you're not going to be ordered to pay child support, but you gotta find hopefully there's some affordable hotels in the area. You gotta stay in a hotel, but you could be with the kids on the weekends from 10 to 6 at the property. It's nice that it's a farm. I assume there's space outside, and things and you can bring toys or books or things that you want to bring. I'm also going to allow and include in the possession and access that if it's not the weekend, because you don't have every weekend with your job, but it's a weekday, that if they're not in school, I'm going to keep it 10 to 6. But if they're in school, it's going to have to be between 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. because they'll be at school. Obviously, we're not going to pull them from school. I'm also going to include in the order that you be included included into having information about the name of the school where the kids are going to go, the names of their teachers.
They have that.
Understood, Judge.
that you have access to full information related to all of their schooling. And I'm limiting that the children can only go to school there. So we're not moving the children around, and they're only primarily living there. And if the children have to leave Arkansas to come to Austin, that you be told in advance so that you know, okay, that weekend I'm not going to be able to go. But if you beat them to it, 72 hours, you tell them you're going to be there, you get to go there, and their plans are secondary. That's the order of the court. Again, the guardian ad litem is going to come in and she's going to do her work. I'm going to include in the order that she do a child custody evaluation. The order is going to include her ability to request that you go through any alcohol and drug testing. So the guardian ad litem will make that decision. I'm also going to match this visitation schedule for father. So the same, for Sam Murphy as well, not just Ms. Mayfield, but also for Sam Murphy. I'm not leaving him out of the order. And so let me make sure I didn't lose my train of thought here. Okay, so the guardian ad litem can ask you for alcohol testing, can ask you questions about that, can ask you there could be drug testing. And I'm also going to ask the guardian ad litem to make a recommendation on geographic restrictions and relocation. So I'm going to add that as well into the order. It's going to take approximately 6 months. I've spent a lot of time getting to know you, Miss Mayfield, and Sam Murphy and the Murphy grandparents. And I don't want you to lose all of that work that's already been done. And I know it's very painful to have to repeat things over and over. So I'm going to keep the case. So that,
Your Honor.
I'm sorry,
Excuse me.
Yes, Sam Murphy, go ahead.
Excuse
I'm
me,
saying
Your
Sam
Honor.
Murphy because there's a lot of Murphys. That's why I try to distinguish it for the record. Yes, I'm listening to you. Turn on your video. What's going on?
Yes, ma'am. So I will be off on the 30th, August the 30th, and I was going to request if I could actually get to see my kids as well on the 30th.
So I'm the same possession periods and access that I'm giving Miss Mayfield are going to apply to you so that you could give your 72 hours notice. Now, the issue is I don't think there's going to be a lot of overlap. Okay. But if there is overlap and both parents request the same, Miss Mayfield has priority because Sam Murphy is your son. Sally and Todd Murphy can allow other times that don't interfere to Miss Mayfield. So even though the possession and access is going to be identical to both of you, Miss Mayfield and Sam Murphy, if they conflict, Mr. Murphy, Ms. Mayfield says, I'm getting this weekend, I'm coming from 10 to 6, I'm going to be there. If it conflicts with you, she'll have priority because these are your parents and they can work out another time for you. However, the order will have time built in for you as well so that you also have the right to make those requests, Mr. Sam Murphy.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Okay. Let me see what else I missed if I missed anything. The electronic communication, Ms. Mayfield, what kind of electronic communication do you want as we go through the guardian ad litem's work? What are you asking for?
It's always been FaceTime. I'm fine with continuing on with FaceTime.
But when? What are the times?
If I could just make them to my off days, because I do.
Okay.
I will mention that I will call, but I'd be so exhausted and tired from 12 hours to where sometimes I can, as soon as I walk in, I plop on the bed and
Let me ask you this. When you've asked
I'm sorry.
You froze up. I want to ask you a question. When you've asked the grandparents, I wanna have FaceTime with Denzel and Zahara, have they given you a hard time about FaceTime or have they been pretty flexible?
Todd has been pretty fair. I've never had an issue with Todd. Dr. Murphy, excuse me. I do, however, have issues with Miss Murphy. I would ask if I could kind of continue to have it with Dr. Murphy instead of her. I do understand that he does travel a lot due to his practice and what he does. But it's just always difficulty with Mrs. Murphy, and I just really want to avoid it. I mean, if I have to, as a mother, I will push everything to the side as I have been doing and still contact her. But I would prefer it to be through Dr. Murphy.
Dr. Murphy, are you comfortable being the one that receives the requests for the 72-hour notices for weekend visits and weekday visits, and the one to coordinate electronic communication?
Yes and no, Your Honor. We don't carry our phones with us all the time. We're not bound to our phones. So that's where the challenge has come up, where we're expecting her to get off work or she'll message, but we may have gone outside and we're doing whatever else without our phones on us. So it's always been, if you can't reach Sally, call me. If you can't reach me, call Sally. So, yes, I can be the primary, but like next weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I'm going to be back in Austin working. And so I know next weekend's going to be a challenge for a visit and everything else, but, just being upfront and honest, I think it should be equally, and Trees has to be aware that it can't all fall on me because she feels like there's beef with Sally. It goes back to the phone. We just don't live on our phones all the time. And
So
we have, sorry, one more point. Sorry. Your Honor.
No, I need to interrupt you because I'm
Okay.
running out of time. What kind of physician are you?
I'm a veterinarian.
Okay, got it. So what
And so,
I'm gonna, Miss Mayfield, I'm gonna order that you give these notices. You need to do a 3-way text message. It
yes.
needs to be Miss Mayfield, Sally, and Todd Murphy. So you send the message to both of them. And I'm gonna do the same thing for electronic communication. I'm gonna have you give 72 hours notice. Well, let's do 48 hours notice on that, and tell them I'm available this day from this time to this time, so that you can coordinate those FaceTimes, and I'm gonna have that happen twice a week. Okay, so I know your schedule changes, and I don't blame you for being tired after working an overnight shift. That is perfectly normal and acceptable, and it's a very difficult thing to do to your circadian rhythm. So you just give them 48 hours. You text them both and you say, I'd like some FaceTime on such and such date. If they're in school, don't ask for 12 o'clock. If they're in school, it needs to be after 4 p.m. And if it's the weekend, you have more flexibility. And again, 72 hours notice for visits. You can go every Saturday and Sunday from 10 to 6 and visit at the farm. You just have to pay for your own hotel. All right. I think that covers, let me see. I'm gonna enjoin both Miss Mayfield and Mr. Murphy, not just Miss Mayfield, both of them, from removing the children from the farmhouse without Sally or Todd Murphy with them to go out to eat or whatever it may be. Let's see. We already talked about child custody evaluation. I am denying the request for a psychological evaluation at this time. I am going to order that, obviously, Miss Mayfield, you can't remove the children from their school in Arkansas, and that you are not to consume alcohol or controlled substances within 12 hours or during your time with the children, obviously. That is a given. And so then what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to go ahead and set this case with me already. And we can do that. I can look 6 months from now and go ahead and set it. And if we're not ready 6 months from now or something else comes up, then I'll have to address it as we go along. But Ms. Mayfield, if you file more pleadings asking me to look at this before the guardian ad litem finishes her child custody evaluation, I'm not going to be in a good position to make changes to the current order. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
I need her to do her work, and I need to hear from her or him, whoever is going to be assigned, before I'm able to make further orders. So I'm just going to go ahead and put a placeholder in 6 months. And once I know who the guardian ad litem is, if the guardian ad litem tells me she or he needs a little more time, I can tweak that. But I want to put a date on it for you, Miss Mayfield, and for Dad, so that you all know there's a date that's set. I don't want you to get lost in the shuffle and feel like you don't have an end date to all of this. So that's why I'm going to do it in 6 months. So let's see, 6 months from now looks like
January, Judge, more or less.
right after the holidays. Okay.
Correct. And all my long docket settings in January are available.
Okay. Okay. So, I have Miss Gonzalez here. Let's go off the record. Miss Gonzalez, you don't have to get on the camera, but is there a time in January that would work best?
Anytime right now.
Okay. So
That
that's,
could change in a week or so, though.
I know. That's why I'm going to grab my date now. I'm thinking ahead because I understand how busy we are and how busy our guardian ad litems are. Okay. So how about January 11th?
Okay.
Give me 1 second, Judge. I'm open, but I just wanted to double check.
Okay, let's double check that. How about you, Miss Mayfield? And I will find good cause to do this on Zoom, but it looks like everybody approves and agrees to Zoom. Or do you want it in person?
I'm fine with Zoom, Judge, from my perspective.
How about you, Miss Mayfield? Do you prefer Zoom, or do you want to come in person? And also for Sam Murphy, I haven't forgotten you. This hearing will be for you too.
Zoom would be perfect for me, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Mayfield, are you okay with that?
Yes, ma'am, I'm okay with that.
Okay. So let's do January the 11th. And I'm going to block out 2 days. I'm going to block out the 11th and the 12th, and hopefully it doesn't take that long. But in the meantime, maybe before then, maybe you all reach agreements. Nothing is preventing you from reaching agreements, okay? However, Ms. Mayfield, if you may want to at least hire an attorney before you sign anything, agreeing to anything. You might want to do that.
Yes,
At a
ma'am.
minimum, on a limited scope, somebody to sit with you and take a look at. Same thing for Sam Murphy, for Dad.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, then there was the issue of adjudicating parentage, and I never asked this to Miss Mayfield, and we're off the record. You don't dispute that Sam Murphy is the children's father, correct, Ms. Mayfield, or am I wrong?
No, ma'am, I never disputed the fact. I just, with them trying to use.
Maybe you said something out of anger, but as you
No,
said,
no, no. It wasn't in anger. I was of sound mind when I said it. It was based off of them trying to use, oh, well, your power of attorney can't override his, because I was threatening to, well, not threatening, I actually did revoke mine. And, with them not want to disclose their actual location, that's where, I was like, well, he's not on Denzel's birth certificate. So,
I see.
according to his vital records, like, Samuel has no say-so over Denzel. And that was prior to the paternity test, but I most definitely know that he's both of their father.
Okay, I'm going to adjudicate parentage for Sam Murphy as it pertains to Denzel King Murphy, male born on November the 4th, 2021. And so if you want to send me that order, Ms. Locke, independently, aside from
Yes.
everything else, I'll sign that order.
I'm sorry.
And then-
Do you want anything on the record, Judge, regarding that? We were still.
Yes, I need to get on the record for that. Sorry. Yes, ma'am. Okay, the court is going to adjudicate parentage at this time, that Sam Murphy is the father of Denzel King Murphy, a male born on November the 4th, 2021. And I'm asking Ms. Locke to send me that order, just that standalone order to clarify and put that issue to bed and adjudicate parentage for Sam Murphy.
Yes, Judge.
I'll also say on the record that this case is going to be specially assigned to this court, the 261st District Court, and that I am setting it for January the 11th and the 12th for final merits at this time. If that has to be changed later, we'll cross that bridge later. You all may talk, you may reach agreements. The guardian ad litem may be able to provide feedback that may be helpful. But for now, we have that setting. And if you don't reach an agreement, we are going to see each other on the 11th, and we're gonna get some final orders in place.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Judge.
And Mr. Sam Murphy, of course, you're going to be part of that as well. And all of these visitation rules apply to you as well.
Yes, Judge. Thank you.
Equally to both parents, including all of these injunctions with the no substance use. And if you're leaving the South Smoky Bear Road address, that we need either Sally or Todd Murphy. That needs to be equal for both parents.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
All right, so we are off the record now. And Ms. Locke, how long do you need to provide that order to me?
I can get the adjudication order to you by Friday. The other order, I just need a couple weeks to get done. But the adjudication one I can get done relatively quickly.
Okay, I need a timeline for the for the temporary orders, because if there's any disputes and they don't understand each other, there needs to be an order in place. So
I agree, Judge, for just 2 weeks to get it done.
okay.
So by not this Friday, but the following Friday.
Okay.
If I can get it done sooner, I absolutely will, because I understand the court's concern.
Okay. And Ms. Mayfield, Ms. Locke is going to send me the order, and she's going to copy you because you're representing yourself. And she's going to copy Sam Murphy as well. That's not an opportunity for you to if you look at the order, let me say it this way. If you look at the order and you say, oh my goodness, this is not what the judge ordered, you can write an email and say, Judge, I disagree with the order, and tell me why. But let me tell you that I have taken very detailed notes, and I know exactly what my order says, and I'm going to be reading it, and it needs to be exactly what I said. And if it's not what I said, I'm going to fix it, and that's what I'm going to enter. Okay. With that being said, you all are excused, and the guardian ad litem will be appointed as quickly as possible. Your visitation, Ms. Mayfield, is not dependent on the guardian ad litem. It starts now when you give notice. I'm just going to try to get this guardian ad litem up and running as quickly as I can. I'm going to sign the order right now during my lunch break.
Okay, thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you, Judge.
All right. You all are
Thank you.
excused. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.